A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
This is Nightline, your open door to people and places, and this is Walter O'Keefe. Nightline invites you to listen in on NBC's award-winning science fiction series X-1. Now escape to a world of the future.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, The Merchant of Venus by A.H. Phelps, Jr. But first, hear this.
When they play it hot and you dig the beat, oh, life is swinging, life's complete.
You make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Now on X-1, The Merchant of Venus.
If you've ever tried to make a 6-inch marionette play the piano using spider webs 100 feet long for the strings, you'll have some idea of the job of administering personnel problems of the Venus colony from an office on East 41st Street in New York. But that's the way it's done. All recruitment and contract work for outspace employment is handled by the UN Off-World Commission. My particular mess is the Venus Project. Mostly the trouble comes to my phone extension. Work 'em here.
Work 'em. How long do you think we're going to stand for this?
Oh, General Carlson, how are you?
At the rate you're going, there won't be a man left on Venus or a dollar left in the budget. What kind of a personnel director are you?
Well, if you...
Don't you know this project is vital to every person on Earth?
General Carlson, just what is wrong?
30 more resignations came in from the colony on the last mail flight. 33 spineless quitters getting fat at the taxpayers.
Excuse me, General.
Listen to me, Workham. I'm getting awfully tired of the kind of recruiting you're doing.
Miss Kane, get me Dave Newsom on the other line. No, don't cut the General off. He's enjoying himself. He won't miss me.
It's this egghead inefficiency that's at the bottom of the whole thing.
Well, I'm not too sure about that, General.
Believe me, with one platoon of Rangers, I could get a colony and a stay-up. Hello, Ron.
Dave, General Carlson's on the other phone yelling at my desk blotter. He says 30 more resignations came in. That right?
Actually, 23. 7 for sick leave.
Well, what's the breakdown? Mostly farmers or technicians?
Well, there were only 9 technicians left. This batch cleans them out. The rest are farmers.
What's left?
A couple of farmers, trappers, and the scientists. They seem to stick it out all right.
Different contracts. They only have a 2-year hitch and then come back to Earth if they want to. Listen, meet me down at the coffee shop. No, Carlson goes down there sometimes. The saloon over on 43rd, about 10 minutes. The saloon was decorated in old-fashioned foam and plastic furniture. It looked straight out of the antebellum 1950s. I found Dave waiting for me in a booth, and we got right down to it.
Well, listen, why don't we leave this last bunch of quitters right where they are? Refuse to bring them home. Then they'd have to make a go of the colony to save their scrawny necks.
Oh, I'd like to, but even General Carlson wouldn't dare. We'd never get another colonist off Earth. And our main job is to relieve population crowding on Earth. If we get tough with the colony, a man would be a fool to go.
Every one of these quitters talks like he was just sprung from Devil's Island.
This isn't getting us anywhere. I want you to shoot me up the files on this last batch of quitters. Maybe we'd better have a staff meeting on it. Get the psychology section, the preliminary interviewers who passed these men, and I'll have Jameson, too.
What do you want a historian for?
Maybe he can find us something interesting in the project record. He's used to deducing the philosophical and religious behavior of the ancient Hittites from a loose translation of a cuneiform laundry bill.
Shall I get them all down here?
No, we'd better make it formal. Book a conference room. When you get Jameson into a saloon, he spends all his time thinking up guessing games to avoid paying for his drinks. No, make sure about General Carlson.
I'll tell his secretary.
No. Make sure he doesn't hear about it. I don't have anything against General Carlson personally. It's just that there's always been a fight over Venus Project. The military versus the rest of us soft, decadent civilians. Carlson felt the right way to settle any virgin territory was to set up a military outpost on the ground that soldiers had always been the best operators under similar circumstances. I had lunch with Dave before the conference.
You want to call the Greasy Spoon and order?
What's on the menu?
Well, Protost burger, sliced barbecued yeast, or seaweed borscht with boiled algae balls.
Just coffee. Black coffee.
Well, they don't have coffee. What do you think this is, the Chambord? You can have Neocaf or Syntho tea.
And that just about sums up the problem the Earth faces. Scientific agriculture and hydroponics had gone just about as far as they could. Synthesized foods couldn't take up the slack. If the people of Earth kept on emulating the extinct rabbits, as they showed every intention of doing, we had about 30 years before we'd all be standing on each other's shoulders, chewing our fingernails for nourishment. Or rigid birth control would go into effect, with the whole attendant problem of racial tension, nationalistic wars, and bootleg conceptions. The group gathered in the conference room looked sour enough to have been dining on seaweed borscht for a week. All right. I suppose I sum up what we all know already. It'll give us time to stall before we face problems to which we have no answers.
That's a cheerful beginning.
All right. Now, for 6 years, we've been trying to establish a self-sustaining colony on Venus. Why? Take the monorail out to Bucks County or up to Vermont at rush hour. There just isn't any more room on Earth. They've just opened the Dome Colony in Antarctica, and the housing areas in the Amazon Valley. And they're already piled up with a 10-year waiting list. All right, we send out colonists. What happens?
They quit.
Thank you, Mr. Jameson. The resignations come in. By terms of the contract, we have to transport them back to Earth inside of a month of resignation. There'll be nothing left on Venus but a few small clearings in the jungle and a few empty beer cans. Now, I'm not accusing anyone here of making mistakes, but I think we have to seriously consider whether we're spending money for nothing.
Rod, you said the problem was insoluble. We know what we need up there. It's just that we're still making some mistake in selection, in psychological screening. That's all. You're not going to quit, are you, Rod?
Well,
we're not. We'll get these studies out and check again. Venus Project is too important to fail, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's a cheap trick, but it always works. I talk with a heavy, heavy heart. Dave jumps in to shill like a Boy Scout. It always amazes me how a bunch of Ph.D. psychologists can get suckered into enthusiasm every time. We tried to figure out what made the settlers quit. We went into their backgrounds, their personality psych profiles. The coffee grew stale and the smoke heavy. Nothing.
Look, Rod, here's what it boils down to. A man has to be unstable to want to leave Earth, but he has to be stable to stay on Venus. You need initiative and resourcefulness to make out on a new planet. But if you had it, you'd make out fine at home. You need young, healthy, vigorous, mature, older, experienced people all rolled into one. We're looking for a collection of walking paradoxes.
You're listening to The Merchant of Venus, tonight's attraction on X-1. For the big things in your life, be ready with United States savings bonds. That's the new savings bond with the higher interest rate. The improved Series E savings bonds that now mature faster to pay you back extra dollars faster. Yes, when you think of saving, think of savings bonds. They offer you the safe, easy way to save regularly. Safe because each bond is backed by the United States government itself. And it's easy because you can buy bonds either where you bank or through the payroll savings plan where you work. And remember, you get back $4 at maturity for every $3 invested. So you earn extra dollars. But the big news is that the maturity period is shortened to only 8 years and 11 months. So join the bond wagon. Start a family savings program. Invest in improved Series E bonds first thing tomorrow. And hold the bonds you already own. Now back to X-1 and The Merchant of Venus.
We tried brainstorming on Project Venus. You know, just sit around and let the ideas seep out of your unconscious.
Take kids up and bring them up on Venus under guard.
Grow colonists in test tubes and ship them out wrapped in glass.
Start trial colonies in the Congo.
Nothing. I was mulling the conference over by myself in the saloon when Jameson dropped into a chair beside me.
Hi, Rod.
Oh, hello.
Hey, I got a new game. I take 3 matches in my right hand and
Don't
you guess...
bother. I'll pay for the drinks.
Rod, you're taking the sport out of sponging.
I see nothing amusing in being a petty con man.
How about that snow job you work on the psych team every couple of weeks? You could get rich selling bogus mining stock to investigators for the SEC.
There is a difference between legitimate personnel psychology.
Sure. How about when you threatened to quit?
Well, I'm not sure I was kidding.
What would happen if you quit?
Carlson would probably send a military outpost up there. Make a clearing, build a fort, maybe a town, and then he'd try to get people to come and live in it. It won't work, though. They'll want to know why the planet had to be colonized that way. Why wouldn't the civilian colonists stay?
Rod, this may surprise you, but I agree with you. But not because of your fancy psych profiles and emotional mathematics. A free people will not willingly move into a military township. Rod, you a gambling man.
I told you, I'll pay for the drinks.
No. I mean, would you take a 50-50 chance if the colony had a chance of working out?
Guess so. It's better odds than I'd give at the moment.
All right. You're on.
Now, wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Never mind. Here, look. I take 3 matches in my right hand...
And that's all he said. I found out a week later what was going on when I was called on the carpet by General Carlson.
And as I understand it, this plan of Mr. Jameson's was smothered in your office because of professional jealousy, Mr. Jameson having no degree in psychology.
Is that what he told
Mr.
you?
Mr. Workham, I'm very busy. I have a conference with Mr. Jameson in exactly 7 minutes.
I caught him later that afternoon.
Now, take it easy, Rod. That's the only way I could get Old Blood and Sarsaparilla to snap at my bait. If he thought you were sitting on an idea, he was bound to grab it.
You know he dry-docked me for 6 weeks.
Go fishing. Have a good time. When you get back, I'll have my little swindle going full blast.
That is exactly what I did. I went fishing. When I came back to work, I had to fight to get into the building.
Hey, who you pushing?
I work in here.
Yeah, line fucker.
What do you mean?
You're gonna waste your time like the rest of us.
What's going on in there?
What, are you kidding? This is the volunteer office. Where have you been?
Volunteer for what?
The Venus colony.
Oh, no. That's a little office around on 43rd Street.
Wake up, Bud. They moved out of that office last week.
You mean all these men are volunteering?
Sure. Hey, you got a bottle on you?
Bottle?
Anything. A little California seaweed juice, maybe. I ain't fussy.
Are you a trained farmer?
Do I look like a hayseed?
Technician? Mechanic?
Listen, Buster. That's for marks, rubes, hits. I know how to take care of myself. Let the suckers push tractors around. You sure you ain't got a shot?
No.
Man, I can hardly wait till I get there.
The nearest saloon?
Venus, man, Venus.
What are you going to do when you get there?
Well, snake me a little climb. Then let the crabs roll in. Gonna get me a year's supply of the best pre-war scotch, and I'm gonna use it up in a week.
They don't pay that kind of wages at the colony.
Wages? That's for square John. I'm going out for the hot stuff. You know what I mean?
Radioactives? Well, the government assays don't show enough to make it worth shipping.
That's what they want you to believe. I heard they got loads of big U's so rich, you gotta wear a lead union suit to get near them.
Don't you realize there's nothing but jungle up there, and insects and spores and fungus?
All right. I know the story. That's to keep out suckers. Take it from me, bud. Just look around. The smart money knows the truth. I'm getting in on the ground floor.
Jameson, you irresponsible idiot!
Ah, Rod, how are the fish?
I know what you're doing, and I won't put up with it. You've told those dupes down there they can get rich on Venus.
Well, they're volunteering.
And I suppose you think if you get enough of them, you'll find what you want. But have you looked at them? Crooks, gangsters, bums, hobos, drunks, and I don't know what.
They are a little picturesque, aren't they?
Well, you've got recruits, all right. But what kind of a society are you going to start with them?
Rod, you're not being just a teeny-weeny bit snobbish, are you?
Look, this isn't a joke. I don't care who goes as long as they meet some standards. But to make a decent place, you need decent people, morally clean and healthy.
And to think this is a man I have seen playing stud poker.
You've got a collection of bums and alcoholics and criminals. Probably half of them are wanted by the cops. You've got to stop.
There wasn't a thing I could do. I issued a statement to the press, and I got editorials attacking me for trying to keep the riches of Venus from the common man. Days passed, weeks. The training and screening compounds were jammed, and the transports lifted from Cocoa Base on a tight schedule, 100 men to a ship, not counting crew. People traveled miles to apply. They drifted in from every skid row around the world. Then the numbers decreased. Day by day, the get-rich-quick propaganda seemed to be losing its grip. About a year passed, and the lines had dwindled down to about a steady 5 men a day. I went through my routines in a kind of daze, horrified at the tale history would write about the society that was recruited through my office. Then one day I met a man in a lunchroom. He asked me the way to the recruiting office. We got to talking. That afternoon, I found Jameson in the saloon and cornered him.
Look, I take 4 lumps of sugar in my left hand, and you try to guess which one...
Never mind.
It's just a little sporting proposition.
I've had enough sporting propositions out of you. Jamie, I just talked to a recruit.
How democratic of you.
I'm not kidding. He was an engineer who tossed up a good job to go out to the colony.
How nice.
I did a little more checking. They've changed. There are farmers with their families, school teachers, lawyers, doctors, and then 2 ex-colonists applied yesterday to go back.
Guess which hand holds
Listen, there is on the bar a pre-war bottle of scotch at $25 an ounce.
I will buy you the whole bottle for an explanation.
Oh, well, wait till I put the sugar back in the bowl.
Jamie, how did you do it? Were we so far wrong with our charts and psychomath?
Actually, you told me how to do it. Remember you said if there was a recently pioneered society around for you to test, you could set up your standards? Well, all you needed to do was duplicate the kind of person who settled America, or Australia, or California. As an historian, I knew what they were like, and I knew what brought them. So I put out the same bait.
In a pig's eye, you did. How about freedom of religion, freedom from oppression? That had something to do with settling America, didn't it? Isn't that what brought people to this country? I saw that cesspool full of tramps you started with. If there was a Tom Paine or a Ben Franklin among them, I'll eat a whole Rorschach series 1 ink blot at a time.
Rod, you are no historian. Franklin was born here. Paine didn't come over in the first wave. Pioneers are not necessarily young, healthy, or moral. America wasn't founded only by pilgrims. They were actually a minority. We were settled by promoters, bonded servants, British convicts, pickpockets, thieves, French and Spanish pirates. They came here for gold or to beat a hangman's rope. That's the kind of person who settles a new land. Misfits, drunkards, fugitives from justice. Too sick in mind or body to make a go of it where they are.
But what kind of society will they make out of it?
What kind did the sweepings of Newgate make out of America? After a while, they stop shooting each other down in the streets, and civilization catches up with them. For one thing, they get married. And it's amazing what a civilizing influence a wife is.
Won't they be a little sore? After all, you just worked the greatest hoax since...
Since the immigrants came to America because they heard the streets were paved with gold. Well, I'll be going along myself soon.
You?
Yep. Now that they've got a colony going up there, they'll be making history. And besides, I understand there's a wide-open gambling saloon at New Abilene on the Neo-Texas Peninsula. I'm anxious to try my luck on the wheel. I wonder if that pre-war bottle of scotch will stand the acceleration.
Fred Collins again, and I'll be back with a word about X-1 in a moment.
This is Bob Haynes speaking to you from somewhere in the Caribbean. I am aboard a UDT personnel landing craft. That's the underwater demolition scene. We are right now on our way out to rendezvous with United States submarine Sea Lion.
Monitor took you there.
Some men go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. Some people sit on top of flagpoles. But we have a man by the name of Rajah Phillips from India who is buried alive right in the center of a furniture store here in Owensboro, Kentucky.
And Monitor took you there. Big events, little events, offbeat events, comedy, music, news, and sports. They're all part of the top variety of entertainment Monitor brings you all weekend long. This is Frank Blair inviting you to join us on Monitor every weekend and Friday nights, too, on most of these NBC stations.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
At last, the Gregory party have escaped from the magic island of Euclidia. After searching around the world 14 years for her little daughter Joan, Mrs. Gregory found her on the magic island, a weird colony of brilliant though mad scientists. Mrs. Gregory's yacht was captured and held at the island with Captain Bradford, Jerry Hall, and the crew all prisoners. Then another boat with Johnson, trusted employee of Mrs. Gregory in command, attempted to rescue them, and this boat was also captured. Through the efforts of Jerry and Joan, most of the island machinery was disabled, and the party escaped just after dark. It is only a few minutes since the powerful diesel-motored cruiser swept away from the island, and Mrs. Gregory, Captain Tex Bradford, Jerry Hall, and Joan Gregory talk it over in the radio cabin.
I'm quite all right now, Mother dear.
Now, Joan, your feet are terribly cut up from climbing that concrete chute, and you're dripping wet. Please come into my cabin and put on some dry clothes.
Your mother's right, Joan. Take her in, Pat, and dress those feet a little. Then with some warm, dry clothes on, she can come back here and we'll compare notes.
That's right, Joan. You'd better go in and change your clothes.
Very well, Jerry, if you say so.
See there, Mrs. Gregory? She does just what I tell her.
I can't really blame her for that, Jerry. You and Joan certainly proved you could take care of yourselves when you got us off that mad island. Come, Joan, dear. We'll only be a moment.
Hurry back, Joan. Oh, busted, we can't tell our story pretty soon.
Oh, we will hurry, Jerry.
Gee, Tex, Joan's a swell girl. I wish you could have seen her climbing up that concrete thing we had to crawl through for 50 feet.
Yes, I can see your feet now, kid. I've got a pretty good idea what it must have been like. We'll just put a little dressing on.
Oh, my feet are all right.
Well, maybe, but they'll be mighty sore tomorrow when the excitement is all over. Now, just sit still and let me fix you up.
Oh, well, all right. Gee, but we sure saw things and did things on that funny island. Why, when we were down there, and ouch!
Thought those feet weren't sore.
Well, maybe they are. Oh, maybe they're a little tender.
Yes, I thought so. Now, I'll have this dressing on in a minute. And that salve will help a lot. Then you get into some dry clothes.
Oh, golly whiskers. I don't need any dry clothes.
Yes, you do. Now, that'll hold those feet for a while. Now, you get over there and put on that old sweater and pair of pants of mine. They may not fit any too well, but they'll be dry anyhow.
Okay, Tex. I guess that would be smart.
I'm going to try and raise Johnson and tell him we're away from the island and free to talk now. From what you and Joan said about conditions on the island, we ought to be safe from any danger of pursuit for several hours.
Well, I'll keep wrapping these pants of yours around me. Maybe I'll find some way to get them tied off so they'll stay up.
All right, son. Now I'll try for Johnson. J24Y. Calling J12C. Captain Bradford on J24Y to Johnson. Hello, Johnson. Hello, J12C. Trying to save my power. Call me if you're getting this signal. J24Y to J12C.
He doesn't answer very fast.
Well, I don't know what kind of set he's got to work with on that boat he's on now. Probably a freighter with a regular radio operator, and he'll call Johnson to the mic when he gets a chance.
Here we are again.
Yes, and do I not look nice in Mother's dress?
Oh, you're a knockout, Joan.
Oh, Jerry, you look so funny.
Oh, they're the captain's pants. You made me put them on.
Oh, they look all right, Jerry.
Yeah, they must.
Don't worry about the looks, Jerry. They're warm and dry, and if you don't have to run very fast, I guess they'll stay on.
Well, golly, Whisker.
Now, Jerry, do not be angry. You look very nice to me.
And a baby?
Oh, Jerry, how often have I told you that
You are not a baby. Oh, I know.
That sounds natural.
And now that we have a few minutes with nothing to do but wait and see how far our fuel will carry us, suppose we try to straighten out some of the things which happened to us.
Well, Jerry and I can tell our experiences very quickly, but first we would like to hear what happened to you and the captain while we were down inside the island.
Yeah, when Joan and I left the yacht, you were just transferring the stuff to this boat.
Well, we completed the transfer through the holes in the hulls of the two boats and waited on the yacht until it was dark. Then we all went into the radio cabin. It was lined with Euclidean cloth, remember? It was perfectly soundproof.
Yeah, we know that. But how did you get from the yacht to this boat when the time came?
Well, we knew that the Euclideans would have a guard on the pier watching the yacht. And we were afraid they knew that you two were down inside the island. So we tried to make it appear you were on the yacht.
They knew where Jerry and I were most of the time, though the alarm gong did ring frantically from one level to another as they tried to locate us when we were escaping.
There, Tex, didn't I tell you those bells meant they were chasing Jerry and Joan from one level to another?
Looks like you were right, Pat. Well, we knew we had to get on this boat to make our escape. And so when it was dark, we cut through the floor of the radio cabin and went down into the hold and transferred to the other boat, this boat, through those holes. Then we waited for word from you kids.
Oh, and you took the yacht radio with you down into the hull of this boat, didn't you? And those homing pigeons.
Yes, Jerry. We waited and waited. Then we heard the signal to submerge the island, and two Euclidean guards came aboard the yacht. Fortunately, they didn't look into any cabin or try to speak to anybody. They simply went to the rail and cut the lines which lashed the two boats together.
Gee, that was slick, Tex. And you were ready, listening with the radio hot, when Joan and I sent the message to Johnson from the island radio room.
Right, Jerry.
You and Mother did it all very cleverly, Captain Tex.
We only did the natural thing, dear. In fact, the only thing. We didn't have much choice about our activities. Now, you two tell us what happened to you.
Well, when we left here, we went
down inside
Hey, wait a minute. One at a time.
Well, thank you, Jerry.
We went down
inside the island and we...
golly whisker.
I think we'd better referee this thing, Pat.
Looks like it might expedite matters. Suppose you start, Joan.
Yes, Mother. As you know, Jerry and I had two of the 300-second ray guns, which I had taken from the commander when gas put the Euclideans in the laboratory to sleep. So we felt reasonably safe. But the problem was how to get down inside the island without exciting suspicion, as we knew the Euclidean guard in the voice control chamber on the surface was hearing everything we said as we walked across the island. But Jerry solved that very nicely.
How was that, Jerry?
Well, I just talked good and loud about the formula you had given me to wake these men up with, and how we had to hurry to the laboratory with it. Of course, the guard heard me, and when Joan asked for the elevator, she got it quick.
That was very quick thinking, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry was very clever, Mother.
Oh, you finally got that straightened out anyway.
Jerry. Well, then we went into the sound channel on the 5th level, where we could talk in privacy. And I showed Jerry the scale model of the island. And from it, we planned our attack on the vital parts of the power and control system.
Say, you two kids work just like a machine. Go on.
But just as Joan and I were ready to leave for the power rooms, one of the Euclidean guards came in. Joan fired her ray gun like she'd shot me, and I fell down. Joan sent for the guard for orders about me, and we got out of there.
And then we climbed down the ladder inside the elevator shaft to the 100-foot level.
50 feet down a dark elevator shaft?
Yes, Mother. We landed safely, however. And by using the ray on a guard, we were able to get into the power rooms and shut off the electricity and flood the power rooms. And as Jerry flooded the rooms, I took out the fuses and threw them in the water.
Great work, kids. But how about this submerging operation they just completed as we got away? How did they do that without power?
I wondered about that, Joan, and you were too busy to tell me.
The island may be submerged to a depth of 40 feet by gravity, aided by reserve emergency tanks of compressed air.
Those Euclideans certainly thought of everything. But how did you get out of the lower level after the rooms were flooded?
Well, that's where we had to climb 50 feet up the inside of a concrete and steel chute. It was like a corkscrew, but almost straight up.
And that is where we hurt our hands and feet so badly. I could never have reached the platform but for Jerry helping me.
Then we just took a chance and used a private elevator from the 5th level to the surface. And it comes up inside the control room. Joan used a ray gun to put another guard to sleep there. And we sent a message to Johnson that you heard.
It was while Jerry and I were climbing up that terrible upright tunnel that you heard most of the signals ringing as they rushed from floor to floor trying to locate us.
Gee, I hated to leave the commander in that laboratory asleep with G-47, those other Euclideans. But Joan figured she would be safe there. And when we came back to take over the island, we could rescue her. She sure did a big thing when she let herself be put to sleep so we could escape.
Yes, you bet she did. And we'll see that she's taken care of one of these days. Just as we'll take care of everybody on that island who wants to lead a decent life in our world.
I think it's only G-47 and a few of his assistants who are really criminals. The rest are merely prisoners, doing the bidding of the scientists.
That is true, Mother. The prisoner we brought from the control room is one of the scientists, however. One of the chief electrical engineers. And he is very dangerous and clever.
Gee, have you got him locked up good, Tex?
Locked up and guarded. The skipper and McLeod will handle him without any trouble.
Well, that is the end of our story, I think, Captain.
No, it isn't, Joan. It's only the beginning. We've got to know a lot about that island before we consider ourselves safely away.
Yes, Joan, dear. For one thing, how long will the island remain submerged and more or less helpless?
That will depend greatly on how long the captain's formula will keep them asleep.
What if help doesn't arrive right away? I mean, what if we're without fuel and have to depend on what little way we can make with our makeshift sail? How much time will we have before the Euclideans will send a submarine or an airplane out after us?
I think not later than daylight, even with most of the scientists asleep.
Can they pump out those lower chambers and raise the island again that soon?
Oh, yes, Captain. If any of the men left active understand it, and they undoubtedly will. You see, they carry enough reserve compressed air to drive the water out and raise the island without any electricity.
Golly, whiskers. Then we may not be doing so good after all.
Johnson to J24Y.
Right, everybody now. Hello, Johnson. Bradford. We're safely off the island, but short of fuel. Go ahead.
Running for Los Angeles. Our fuel supply nearly exhausted. Left lighted buoy on your course. We'll rush other aid as soon as possible. Give further news later. That's all. Hold your set on 6 meters. Better for this receiver. Sorry. That's all.
Gee, he's not much help.
Oh, Mother, what will we do now?
Now, steady, kids, till I work this out. Johnson said 6 meters. He knows his set is weak at 6 meters. Something.
Tex, code. Try every 6th letter. The 6 is for some good reason.
Right, Pat. Every 6th letter. Fuel. Buoy. Other. Farther.
Gee, that means he left a lighted buoy on our course with an oil drum tied to it.
And that other farther means he's leaving lighted oil drums all along our course.
Oh, that Johnson is a wonderful man.
You bet he is. And we'll be a lot of miles from Euclidia at daylight.
The Gregory boat is nearly 50 miles from the Magic Island. It is after 9 o'clock at night, with the warm, sluggish darkness of the subtropics hanging over the water, as the big diesel-motored cruiser plows steadily northward toward the regular steamer lanes and California. The escape from the island was entirely successful, but the Gregory boat is short of fuel, and those on board have no guarantee as to their margin of safety before the Euclidean scientists on the island repair the damage done by Jerry and Joan and set out after the boat. Mrs. Gregory and her daughter Joan are in the radio cabin, listening constantly for a message from Johnson, who is speeding through the South Pacific somewhere ahead of them. Captain Bradford and Jerry are standing in the pilot house on the boat, watching carefully for any sign of light on their course.
How much farther can we go on the oil we got, Tex?
Not very far, kid. I'd say 5 miles the most.
Gee, are you sure about that code message of Johnson's?
Couldn't miss it, Jerry. Johnson said he'd leave a trail of oil drums with lighted buoys on his course. He wasn't further than this when he dropped the first one according to his message.
Then we ought to see it pretty soon, if it hasn't been carried away off the course.
No, not much danger of that. There's no wind, and I've been setting our course to compensate for what little drift there is.
Just the same, I'm getting kind of worried. We couldn't do any more than hold her on a course with the little breeze we got.
I know it, Jerry, but we'll just have to hang on and see what happens. Then if we do run out and haven't picked up the drum, we'll simply have to radio Johnson and ask him to turn that boat around and come after us.
But his boat's on a scheduled run, and they've lost a lot of time over us already.
Yeah, true, but they'll come back if they have to. Of course, it's better for us if they don't, because Johnson is getting nearer a regular steamer lane all the time. And if he can catch a fast mail boat to Los Angeles, they can get in there and get busy on my formula.
But if we get fuel enough, we can make better time on this boat than anything on the ocean. Why wouldn't it be better for them to wait for us and load us with fuel than let us tear on into Los Angeles?
Well, you see, Jerry, I didn't want to alarm Pat and Joan with this, but Johnson's playing smart in more ways than one. He's got a mighty good idea of the sort of thing we've been up against. And he's afraid we'll still get caught and dragged back to that island. If that happens, he wants to be free to go on into Los Angeles, get that formula compounded, come back to do a real job of wiping out that island.
Oh, gee. Do you think there's any real danger of us getting caught before we get far enough away from the Magic Island?
Yes, Jerry, I do. We saw enough things there to warn us that almost anything is possible where G47 and his men are concerned.
Yeah, I guess that's right, all right. Maybe even Johnson hasn't got as much chance of getting away as he thinks he has.
Why not?
Well, we had the Euclideans thinking Johnson was on board this boat. But in the last hour, we've been sending messages to him. And G47 will know where Johnson is.
No, not exactly, he won't. You notice that Johnson refuses to even tell us what his position is. Though the instruments on the island would register his exact course from the island, I don't think they could even guess how far he may be along that course. They don't know the power of the set he's using.
Oh, golly, Tex, this is the most mixed-up thing I ever heard of.
Captain.
Yes, Skipper, what is it?
Light.
Gee, Tex, a light. Let's go see what it's all about.
Where away, Skipper?
Starboard.
Off the beam?
Aye.
Hey, I don't see anything out there.
Oh, wait a minute now, wait. I do. Yes, that's it. Signal the engine room for half speed. Throw that wheel hard over. That's a lighted buoy on an oil drum we've got to pick up.
Aye.
Hey, Tex, where you going?
Into the cabin. Come on, kid, we'll do a little figuring.
Course, Tex. I heard the engine room telegraph.
Yes, we're circling to pick up the first of the drums of oil Johnson dropped for us.
Oh, you have seen the lighted buoy, then?
Oh, no. The skipper saw it. You know, that old guy may not talk much, but he navigates with his eyes open.
You're right, Jerry. That's why the skipper is so valuable.
Now we've got to do a little scout practice on the chart here and see why that buoy should be so far off our course.
Hey, the motors have stopped. We must be getting ready to pick up that oil drum.
Sounded to me more like we've run out of fuel.
Yes, that's about it. Run out on deck, will you, Jerry, and help McLeod and the skipper haul that drum aboard? You may have to rig up a little canvas, too, to reach it if the fuel's going.
Aye, aye, Cap. Come on, Joan.
Oh, may I, Mother?
Of course, dear. Stop in my cabin and put on a heavy sweater, though. You've had enough exposure.
Oh, but it's warm out on deck, Mother.
You come on and do what your mother says.
Yes, Jerry, of course.
You've got something on your mind. Tex, what is it?
Well, I don't like that running out of fuel, for one thing, and that drum being so far off our course for another. We're not out of the woods yet, Pat.
But Johnson's last message sounded confident enough.
Yes, I know, but, well, Pat, I wasn't going to tell you.
Yes, Tex?
And I told Jerry not to discuss it in front of you, but things lack a whole lot of being perfect for our getting away safely.
I know there's a certain element of danger, Tex, but after what we've been through on that island...
Exactly, dear. After what we've been through on that island, we don't want any more of it.
You don't think there's much chance of those Euclideans being able to stop us now, do you?
Well, we're only 50 miles from the island. If those chemists wake up while we're within striking distance, or if the remaining guards can manage to get that submerged island drained out and raised, well, they're coming after us.
Then, if you think things are that dangerous, why not send a hurry-up call to Johnson, have that boat put about and run back for us?
Yes, that's what Jerry asked me, but it's no good. Johnson is taking chances on our picking up barely enough fuel from these buoys. And for all we know, he hasn't enough large drums aboard to dump sufficient oil out for us. Yet in spite of all that, he keeps running away from us.
Well, I'm not sure I understand what he's doing, Tex.
I do, perfectly. He knows our danger, and he knows that even if we're caught again, he can go into Los Angeles, have my universal solvent formula compounded, and come back here with enough help to finish that island. Well, if he came back here now and was caught with us, well...
Yes, I understand.
Sorry, Pat, but it's about the way it looks to me.
Listen.
Sounded like the winch started.
Yes. They must be getting ready to pick up the oil drum.
Guess we had speed enough to carry us around to that buoy. They couldn't have rigged a sail and made it in this time.
Jerry is helping the skipper and Mr. McLeod take a drum of oil aboard, Captain Bradford.
We thought that was what the noise was, Joan.
Yes, dear. But how did we get to it so quickly?
The buoy was not as far off our course as it appeared to be. The light on it was very small and dim. It was actually not more than 100 yards away when the skipper sighted it.
It relieves my mind about more than the oil.
You mean about being off your course?
Yes, at least we know we haven't forgotten how to navigate.
How long will that amount of oil last, Captain?
I can't very well tell you until I see how large the drum is.
Oh, that was stupid of me, wasn't it?
Did you notice the size, dear?
Well, Mother, it was still hidden down in that dark water. I could not see it. And Jerry sent me in here to tell you that we had found it.
No, that's all right, Joan. We'll soon know how large it is.
I will go and find out, Captain.
Don't bother, Joan. Jerry will come in as soon as they get the engine room hatch. As soon as they get it down there. I don't hear the winch. It must be over the hatch. It won't take long. It's going below now. It's landed, and none too gently from the sound.
Well, it must have been a large drum.
I sure hope so.
How rapidly does this boat use up the fuel oil, Captain?
I'm not sure without checking with Mac, but I know one barrel won't take us very far.
Well, we got the barrel of oil in the hole, all right. Mac and the skipper are going to put it into the tank as fast as they can.
How big was it, Jerry?
Well, Mac said it looked like 55 gallons to him.
Oh, that won't take us very far, will it, Tex?
No, not very, but Johnson knows how this boat burns it, and I've told him we'd be running wide open. So he should drop those things overboard for us pretty often.
Do you think it will take us long to start the boat again, Captain?
Why, getting nervous, Joan?
Yes, I am. We are so near that awful Euclidia, and they have so many powerful things with which to reach us.
Oh, but most of those guys are asleep. And the ones that aren't are busy trying to raise that island after you and I flooded the lower levels.
You can't be sure how long that gas from your formula will keep them asleep, will you, Tex?
No, that would depend on the quantity of it they mixed up. The size of the room, and how soon they were given fresh air. Oh, a lot of things. But it should last for several more hours.
And then there is the possibility of raising the island and using the submarines to chase us, or even the airplanes. None of the aviation engineers were in the gas-filled chamber. They would all be free to set out after us the moment the surface of the island cleared the water.
Oh, you can all think of the nicest things. Now, why not quit hanging crepe and agree that we're away from the island? That's something. And we've got some more fuel. That's something else. It's not going to help things to sit around here with long faces and feel sorry for ourselves.
You're right, Jerry. But after all, Joan knows all about the island. And 50 miles or 100 miles doesn't guarantee us much safety.
Well, let's quit worrying about it for the time anyway. Any minute now, the motors will start. We'll have their husky roar anyway to help us out.
Yes, Skipper?
Captain.
Come in, Skipper. Got the oil in the tanks yet?
No.
Why not? Trouble?
Aye.
Serious?
Bad.
Right with you, Skipper. Shove off. You three stay here till I get back.
Yes, Tex, we will.
Gee, I wonder what's up now.
Well, probably they can't get the oil drum open. I've seen that happen time and time before.
But surely there is some way.
Well, if there is, Tex will find it. I know those things can be dangerous, though.
In what way can they be dangerous, Jerry?
Well, there's no telling how much gas there is in one, especially if the oil doesn't fill it tight. And if you're not careful with wrenches and hammers, sometimes a spark will blow one up.
I think Tex has handled several of them. We haven't much to worry about, though our time is awfully precious right now.
It's funny we don't hear them working on it. I'm going to...
Oh, no, Jerry. Stay here. You know the captain said for us to stay here in the cabin.
But golly whiskers.
I think you should stay, Jerry. For some reason, Tex wanted you to, and his reasons are usually very good ones.
Oh, okay, Mrs. Bradford, I'm sorry. But, well, I don't like to just sit here and do nothing. I'm getting the jitters.
I, too, have the jitters, Jerry.
Oh, what was it, Tex?
Couldn't they get the oil drum open?
Captain Bradford, your face, it looks like a thundercloud.
Tex, Oh, shut that door and come in here. Now, tell us quickly, what's the matter?
Well, that oil drum. He got it open all right.
Yes, and then what?
But we'll never run those motors on that oil.
Was it not the right kind of oil, Captain?
It wasn't oil at all. It was turpentine.
Turpentine?
Oh, Tex. Then we can't move.
No, we can't move. And we've gone just as far from that island as we're liable to go.
Exploring tomorrow. And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell Jr.
In the biblical story of the handwriting on the wall, everybody could see that handwriting. The king, Belshazzar, could see it clearly enough. Trouble was he couldn't tell what it meant. If you recall, he had to call in an interpreter. A lot of people can see handwriting on the wall. The argument is, what does it mean? The thing that makes reading that handwriting on the wall so difficult many times is that the message is one we don't want. We don't want to be able to read. Many times when a man's faced with a problem that he can't solve, he doesn't want to admit that it's an absolute limitation that cannot be broken. Then the grand old art of buck passing comes in. That's when you start saying, well, it isn't my fault. He won't let me. Let's consider a situation of that type.
My name is Lester McClellan, Secretary General of the United Nations. It was a busy day in the year 2180. The ambassador from a now independent colony on Venus was due to see me that morning. And there was a note on my desk requesting me to call Dr. Kingston, head of the UN Research Bureau, as soon as I had a chance. Kingston was working on a project vital to the future of mankind. I decided to call him. Bernie, I got your message. What goes?
Good news about the space drive project. There's been a substantial breakthrough. We've made a qualitative advance.
And what does that mean in plain English?
That we'll be finished with the groundwork in less than a year. Maybe even next month.
Have you prepared a news release on this thing?
Not yet, Lester. We're waiting for official approval first. Look, can you come down to the lab sometime today? I can give you a briefing on the new material. Fill you in.
I'll try, but I'm not promising. The ambassador from Venus is due any minute, and you know what a tough job I'm going to have with him.
Yeah, I understand. Well, Lester, if you're free at all...
I'll call you back if I am.
Right. Good luck with the ambassador.
Thanks. Oh, he's coming now. I can't talk anymore.
Try to see me later, will you?
Bye, Bernie.
Secretary General McClellan, I'm David Rockwood, Art Secretary of Venus Central Council. How do you do?
Won't you be seated, Mr. Rockwood?
Thank you.
I'm happy to welcome you back to the planet of your ancestors. Is this your first visit to Earth?
It is.
I wish I could hope that you'll enjoy your stay here, but I can't do that, can I? Anyway, we're very happy that the Outworlds agreed to send an observer to the Earth. We have a major problem here, Mr. Rockwood. We think your worlds can help us. Of course, you're familiar with the text of the General Assembly resolution.
Of course. The three governments of the former Earth colonies of Mars, Venus, and Callisto have sent me as their representative. The space travel is not cheap, you know. We saw no need of 3 observers when one would do.
Yes. Yes, I see. I've arranged for you to have a brief guided tour of parts of the Earth to illustrate our population problem.
Oh, very well. We've agreed to reserve decision until we've seen Earth.
We can begin our tour now, if you like. And this is the Bureau of Population Statistics. Now, you see that screen over there, Mr. Rockwood, the one with the red numbers on it? It's the up-to-date record on Earth's population. Every birth and death is automatically set into the main computer channel as soon as it's known, and within an hour it's registered up there.
13,762,312,000. The last column doesn't stay still long enough for me to read it.
No, it doesn't. We average 500,000 new Earthmen a day, and the computer has to move fast to keep up. It's an average gain of 3 or 4 million people a week, 150 million a year. And the figure keeps rising.
What you need is a really efficient plague. Something to clear away 3 or 4 billions.
I don't find that very amusing, Mr. Rockwood. An interplanetary war would achieve the same thing. Shall we move on? Down there you see New York City. Population 15.5 million.
Incredible. One long stretch of buildings. Well, the largest city on Venus has only 200,000 people.
I can remember when we still had trees in New York. Not anymore. Wood is a luxury on Earth now.
And so is living space. Where do you expect to put the billions you're figuring on in coming years?
I wish I knew. We're converting Mars and Venus and Callisto into livable worlds, but the rest of the planets are impossible to convert. We need population relief in a hurry.
Meaning emigration to Venus, Mars, and Callisto?
Yes. If you will permit us to send more settlers to the planets we built and colonized.
Oh, come now. Do you really think we owe you the right to send the overflow to us?
Let's finish the tour. We can discuss possible arrangements later.
You know, the handwriting doesn't have to be on a wall. Sometimes it can be on the face of a computer, as it was this time. But the handwriting was there. But now, what is the meaning of this handwriting? Does it mean the colonists should allow Earthmen to move out? Or does it maybe have some other meaning?
And this is Food Station 117, an artificial island in the Gulf of Mexico. Since we've hardly any open land on Earth for cultivation, we've turned to farming the sea. We developed some new foods. These are plankton steaks, synthesized from small sea creatures, microscopic crustaceans. And this bread comes from plankton flour. Taste it.
Oh, dear. It's not very tasty stuff, is it?
No, it isn't. But half of Earth's population knows no other food. It's nutritious, and the supply is practically limitless. And we can't spare land for grazing animals. The only ones left are in the zoo. Care for another slice of steak?
No, thanks. No, thanks. This one will do very well. May I have something to drink, please, to wash away that taste?
How did you enjoy the rush hour subway ride?
It was a nightmare.
I've given you as good a sample of Earth's life as is possible in a single day. You've seen much of North America, but it's worse elsewhere. Why, in Asia alone...
Please, Miss McLaren, no more statistics. You've made your point over and over again.
I'm sorry if I've tired you. But I wanted to show you the contrast between Earth and your own uncrowded planets. And now I appeal to you, Mr. Rockwood, in the name of the humanity that's common to all our worlds.
You want us to let you send overflow masses to us?
We built those colonies as a safety valve for overpopulation. And now that we need to use that valve, it's shut tight. Mr. Rockwood, I'm a reasonable man. I know we're asking something that amounts to an imposition, but I beg you.
I agree. Earth is terribly overcrowded. The population of Venus is about 700 million. Mars has about 1 billion. Callisto, 300 million. Now, these figures are close to the peak of optimum population. And since our death rates are low, thanks to medical advances, we have to keep a careful watch over birth rates to maintain normal population distribution.
I ask you to
Now, hear me out, please. We're deeply moved and sympathetic to your plight. We wish we could help you. We feel pity. The pity we would have for an idiot who, given a loaded gun, proceeds to blow his brains out.
What did you say?
I knew how overcrowded Earth was before I took your little tour. But we haven't grown overcrowded and won't. Why? Because we have small worlds, smaller than Earth. We can't allow ourselves to breed at Earth's rate. We see the inescapable need for certain self-restrictions.
You don't see the moral obligation to accept some of our excess people?
We see a moral obligation to refuse. To force you to see your real problem and its solution.
I am empowered by the General Assembly, Mr. Lockwood, to exert any means within my power to make you change your mind. And Earth, I'm afraid, has more armed vessels than your 3 worlds combined.
So you're threatening war?
Not war. Survival. You have country estates, rolling green fields, and we don't have an inch of free space.
So you'll fight to make us let you in? You're bigger fools than I thought. 14 billion of you crammed onto one world, and a mere 2 billion of us scattered over 3. Why, a war would ruin you. We'd bomb you in a shotgun spray and knock off 100,000 no matter where we struck. While you'd have to pry us out of nooks and crannies. We'd lose perhaps 100 million people, but you'd lose billions. I think we could risk it.
So you won't yield. You'd risk war even. You won't take colonists. When we colonize the stars, we shall do it differently.
The stars? Yes, you're counting on them as your last hope. But do you seriously think colonizing the stars can help your population problem? Oh, look, Mr. McClellan, even if you invented a workable star drive tomorrow, it would take 5 years before the first ships got off the ground. You're adding 500,000 a day. Now, how many people would these ships hold? 1,000 each? With 500,000 new births a day, you wouldn't be able to ship people to the stars fast enough to keep up. The math's against you, sir. You'd have to run as fast as you could just to stay where you are.
I suppose there's no further negotiation we can do, Mr. Lockwood. I'll arrange for your immediate return to your home planet.
But will you think about what I've said?
I'll think about it, yes. But we have 14 billion people on Earth.
Mr. McClellan, we're not anxious for war. But your threat doesn't scare us either. We'll fight to defend our way of life. And we'll win, sir. Good day, Mr. McClellan.
Human enough to want to pass his troubles along to another person. In this case, he wanted to make it that his troubles were because the colonists wouldn't let people emigrate. That wasn't the trouble. The trouble was emigration had become impossible. And that was the thing that he had to accept. And like the king in the biblical story, he didn't want that interpretation of the handwriting on the computer.
Sit down, Bernie. Tell me how this star drive of yours is coming.
I think we've got it licked, Lester. But you tell me, are the colonies going to open up?
No.
No? But they can't do that. They just can't clam up and refuse to take in Earthmen. Oh, Lester, we built those colonies. They don't have the right...
I want to talk about the star drive, Bernie. How close to finished is it?
Well, we haven't fully worked out the field equations yet. But with some fast computer work...
I'm not interested in equations. How long do you think it'll be before Earth has spaceships that can travel faster than the speed of light, fast enough to reach the stars?
I told you before, Lester. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Till the pilot model is finished, that is. No more than a year, certainly.
Now, you had some very interesting figures thrown at me today. Have you ever realized how many ships we'd need to send out before we can even make a dent in our population? Hundreds a day.
Well, even so, it would help some to get...
No, it wouldn't. Bernie, I want you to do me a favor. When you perfected your new star drive, hide it. Don't destroy it, because we'll need it someday, but sit on it. Put the schematics away until I give the word, and don't publish your findings. Have you gone crazy, Lester? No, I've suddenly gone stark, raving sane. Look, the new star drive is a dodge, a subterfuge. It's a substitute for the real answer to our problem, Bernie. Venus is not overcrowded. They're controlling population increase there. What does all this have to do with my star drive? Why should I stop work on it? Because it will cloud the issue. The people won't believe the figures. As long as there's what seems to be a way out, they'll cling to it. If you suppress the star drive, there'll be no way out at all. And Earth either cracks wide open or it grows up. There's no middle course. And you're suggesting that I deliberately destroy my life's work? Just for a while. Sure, it's a great thing to explore the stars, but first we need to control ourselves. If the world learns that there's a star drive, they'll think it's a way out. It isn't, but we'll never convince them of it. First, we set up our population control programs, make them see the need for them, get them into operation, and then reveal the existence of the drive. We may have to wait a generation. No, I absolutely refuse. You can't meddle with science this way, Lester. Research must continue. If you interfere with me this way, well, I'll have no choice but to resign. Your resignation is accepted, Bernie. Effective immediately. What? But I only meant that I'm sorry, Bernie. So you're actually fine, if you want to call it that. You don't want to understand how disastrous it would be to continue work on the star drive, okay. Your successor will be a man who will understand such things. Maybe he won't be as gifted as you are, Bernie, but that's all right. The stars can wait. Lester, you can't fire me like this. So cold-bloodedly, so ruthlessly. We've been friends for years. You think I don't know that. But all along, I've been soft-hearted, been making concessions, taking the easy way out. We farmed the seas. We colonized 3 worlds. We cleared away half the Antarctic ice pack to make new land. All big, important things, but all dodging the real issue. Now I'm backed against the wall. The whole world is. I can't be soft-hearted anymore. Lester, this doesn't sound like you. I know. You think I like the spot I'm in now? But a new order has to come about. An order which demands strength, tough-mindedness, courage. It's either that or a situation I don't want to think about. I can't let anything stand in the way now. Do I have time to clear out my office? You can have until tomorrow. And remember that you're still bound by security regulations in case you plan to scream to the news sheet. I'll remember it. So long, Lester. Good luck. Thanks. I'm probably going to need it. Limitations even to what science can accomplish, the highest technology, the fundamental physical limitation of the amount of matter there is in the universe. Old Malthus was right. With a higher technology, you can push the limit out a little further, but not beyond the limits of the universe. They're fundamental. It becomes necessary, sooner or later, to go in for quality instead of quantity. Not for numbers, but for fineness. Not for bigger, but for better. That's the direction we've got to go.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. When the transport plane in which Kent and Lois Lane were following Walter Huffman and his Chinese henchman Hu Ling was forced down in a storm, Kent left Lois at a small Midwestern hotel while he proceeded to San Francisco as Superman. Neither of them was aware that Huffman and Hu Ling had broken their journey at the same hotel in order to throw whoever might be following them off the track. As our story continues today, Huffman has discovered that Lois is in room 507, and he promptly goes up to visit her. Listen.
Yes?
How do you do? My name is Schmidt. Edward Schmidt.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
If your name is Schmidt, why does your pocket handkerchief carry the initials W.H.?
Huh? Oh, that will...
You're lying. Your name isn't Schmidt. I know who you are. Walter Huffman.
Now, wait a minute.
Operator. Operator.
Put down that phone.
Operator. Oh.
Now, pick up the phone. Pick it up. You place the receiver on the hook.
What do you want?
Answer it. Answer it. Answer it, you hear me? Say it was a mistake.
Never mind, operator. It was a mistake.
Thank you, Miss Lane. You are a smart girl.
What do you want?
What do I want? Nothing. The question is, what do you want? For what reason were you and Mr. Kent en route to San Francisco?
That's none of your business.
I am afraid I will have to make it my business. You are following me. Why?
Because you
Say it, Miss Lane. Because I murdered Dr. Chivan. You don't have to be afraid.
I'm not afraid.
So you think I am responsible for Chivan's death? Of course you have evidence.
Enough to send you and that Chinese partner of yours to the chair.
Really? I am sure Hu Ling will be interested. Don't move, Miss Lane. It might be dangerous. Hu Ling.
Yes, Huffman?
Come in. Hu Ling, this is Miss Lois Lane, reporter for the Daily Planet newspaper.
This humble person is honored, Miss Lane.
Miss Lane has just told me, Hu Ling, that she has enough evidence to send both of us to the electric chair for the murder of Chiwan.
There is an old Chinese proverb, he who bears witness walks in the shadow of death.
A very good proverb, Hu Ling.
You can't frighten me.
We are not trying to frighten you, Miss Lane. Are we, Hu Ling?
Certainly not, Mr. Hoffman. That would be to show discourtesy to a lady.
But we would like to know, Miss Lane, just what evidence you have.
All right. I haven't any evidence against you.
And yet you and Mr. Kent wasted no time following us. You must have had suspicions.
I just accompanied Mr. Kent. I wasn't told why we were making the trip.
You do not lie convincingly, Miss Lane. But that is unimportant. I think it would be dangerous to leave you here alone.
I'm returning east in the morning.
No. You are going west with us. But first, there is a little matter to attend to. How did Mr. Kent continue on to San Francisco?
By plane.
All planes were grounded because of the weather.
He hired a private plane.
Then we will go by train. Hu Ling, in that desk drawer you will find some telegraph blanks.
Yes, Hoffman. These are the ones you wish?
Yes, thank you. Now we will send Mr. Kent a telegram. Where can he be reached?
I don't know.
Come, Miss Lane. Don't make it difficult.
Are there not other methods, Hoffman?
I don't think that will be necessary. Well, Miss Lane?
I tell you, I don't know.
Very well. We'll have to make use of our ingenuity. Mr. Kent probably suspects that Hu Ling and I are journeying west to take passage on a boat for China. Therefore, he will search for us at the pier. Since there is only one line now operating between America and the Orient, the Eastern Star Line, that is where we will send the telegram.
You are very clever, Hoffman.
Thank you, Hu Ling. Now, what shall we say?
Doesn't matter what you say. He'll never get it.
That is a chance we must take. Mr. Clark Kent, care of the Eastern Star Steamship Line, San Francisco. Return east at once. Very important. Love, Lois. Take this down to the lobby, Hu Ling, and see that it is sent immediately. Oh, yes, and purchase a veil for Miss Lane. A heavy, dark veil.
I understand, Hoffman. I shall return with haste.
You're mad if you think I'm going with you,
You
Hoffman.
have two choices, Miss Lane. Either you accompany us quietly, or... I would rather not discuss the alternative.
You wouldn't dare touch me.
When men are desperate, Miss Lane, they will dare anything. Do not force us to take drastic action. You'll be better off if you do as we say. Much better off. Fooling, I think now we can take the gag off. I'm sure Miss Lane is smart enough to realize we mean her no harm. There. That's better.
You thief, both of you.
I am sure you do not mean
I
it.
mean every word of it. If you think you can get away with this, you're crazy.
Please, Miss Lane, you are tired. I will send the porter in to make up your berth. Come, Wooling. Remember, Miss Lane, we will be watching this drawing room. Don't do anything you may regret. Good night.
With Lois Lane, an unwilling passenger on a westbound train, and Clark Kent about to receive a telegram that will send him hurrying back east, Walter Huffman stands a good chance of escaping the country with the precious dragon's teeth. Meanwhile, in the editorial office of the Daily Planet, Editor Perry White is making a frantic attempt to learn the whereabouts of Lois and Kent. Listen.
What in the name of heaven do I have to do to get some information around here? Miss Kenyon! Miss Kenyon!
Yes, Mr. White?
Don't guess me. What about Kent and Miss Lane? Where are they?
Well, I can't seem to find them, Mr. White.
You can't seem to find out. Now, look here. That plane they were on was forced down at Briarville.
Yes.
What do you mean, yes? We got that in a news report.
Yes,
And
Mr.
they
White.
said, I told you not to yes me. Did you call the airline?
Yes, no, I mean...
What do you mean?
Well, I called them.
Well, what'd they say?
Well, there were 4 passengers on the
Oh,
plane.
what do I care how many passengers there were? What happened to Lois and Kent?
Well, I'm coming to that. All the passengers were transferred to the Capitol Hotel at Briarville, and they...
Why didn't you say that in the first place? Did you call the hotel?
No, sir, you didn't tell me to.
Must I tell you everything?
No, sir.
Haven't you got a head of your own? Call the hotel.
Yes, sir.
Find out whether Kent's there.
Yes, sir.
If he is, I'll speak to him.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. I'll put the call through myself. You stay here. I may need you.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Get me the Capitol Hotel in Briarville. What? How should I know the number? Call me back. This newspaper certainly has more than a share in numbskull employees. 2 of my best reporters make a forced landing in a storm and haven't brains enough to wire or call me to tell me they're all right. Miss Kenyon.
Yes, Mr. White.
What did they say at the airline? Was the plane damaged? Did it crack up?
No, sir.
It didn't crack up?
Well, no, they didn't say.
Oh. Perry White.
On your call to the Capitol Hotel, Mr. White.
Yes?
The Briarville Exchange did not answer, Mr. White.
Why not?
The wires are down because of the storm. I'm sorry, sir.
All right, forget it. She's sorry. That's a hot one.
You shouldn't be so worried, Mr. White.
Oh, I shouldn't, eh? I shouldn't. And who is going to worry if I don't?
But nothing can happen to them.
You're sure of that?
Oh, no, I'm not sure, but...
Come in. Come in.
Hello, Mr. White.
What? Kent.
Surprised to see me?
All right, Miss Kenyon. Get out. Get out. Close the door behind you. Kent, what on earth happened?
Well, we were forced down outside Briarville. Bad weather. I took Lois to the Capitol Hotel, left her there, and continued on to San Francisco by private plane.
Go on.
When I got there, the first place I visited was the Eastern Star Steamship Line, the only line in service to China. There was a telegram waiting there for me, so I flew back.
Flew back? What do you mean, flew back? All the planes were grounded.
Well, I hired another private plane.
Oh.
We made it in good time.
Now, wait a minute. The telegram. What did it say, and who was it from?
Why, it was from Lois. Said to come back east at once. Where is Lois?
Well, that's what I'd like to know.
You mean she's not here? She didn't return?
No, and I haven't heard from her either.
You haven't? I don't like this. I'll put a call through to the Capitol Hotel in Briarville.
No, I've already done that.
Yes?
And the wires are down. Can't get through.
She doesn't like Lois to keep us in the dark. I don't understand it. If she sent a wire to me, why didn't she communicate with you somehow?
I've been sitting here tearing my hair out ever since I learned your plane was forced down. In the first place, I had no word from you. And in the second place, I figured you'd never get to the coast in time to stop Huffman.
Well, whether Huffman is stopped or not is unimportant now. We've got to find out what happened to Lois. We just got to.
Come in.
It's the porter, ma'am. Gentlemen say you wanted your berth made up.
Yes, please.
Won't take me long to make it up, ma'am. Oh, ma'am, I call this way.
Porter,
Yes,
what's our next stop?
Greenville, ma'am.
Listen, if I gave you a telegram, could you have it sent from Greenville?
Yes, ma'am. I'll go get your blanket.
No, don't do that. I have a piece of paper. You're sure it'll get off all right?
Yes, ma'am. We got 5 minutes in Greenville.
That's fine. Perry White, Daily Planet, Metropolis. In trouble. Have police sneak Pacific flyer into San Francisco. Lois.
Yes, we're coming into Greenville, ma'am.
Okay, I'm finished. Now, here's the telegram. Here's $1. Please be sure and see that it's sent. You hear me? It's very important.
Yes, and I'll be back to make up the bill. Yes, ma'am. I'll have everything sent in just as...
Porter.
Porter. Yes, sir. The young lady in that drawing room, Porter, she is all right?
Oh, yes, is she all right?
The reason I asked, Porter, is that she is not well. Something is wrong with her mind. In case she happens to say something to you that sounds queer, don't pay any attention to it.
She ain't said nothing queer, sir. No, sir. She just give me this here telegram to send to Greenville.
Oh, she gave you a telegram?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think you better let me see it.
Yeah.
You don't have to bother sending this telegram, Porter. I'll take care of it. Thank you.
Unknown to Lois, a virtual prisoner on the speeding train, Walter Huffman has intercepted her urgent wire to Perry White. Can anything now prevent Huffman from carrying through whatever plans he has in mind? Plans that not only involve Lois, but also the precious dragon's teeth? Don't forget to tune in next time and follow the thrilling story with Superman.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. With Clark Kent lured back east by a fictitious telegram, and Lois Lane an unwilling passenger on a westbound express, it looks as though Walter Huffman and his Chinese henchman Hu Ling stand a good chance of escaping to China with the dragon's teeth, 10 pieces of freshest jade that hold the secret of everlasting life. As our story continues today, Lois is alone in the drawing room on the train, trying to think of some way of foiling Huffman's plan. Every moment is precious now, for the streamliner speeding through the night is carrying Huffman and Hu Ling closer and closer to escape. Listen.
Come in.
Hold him, ma'am. Gentleman said you all wanted your bills made up.
Yes, please.
Yes, won't take me long to make it up, ma'am. I'll have it done for you in just a minute. Yeah.
Porter.
Yes, ma'am.
What's our next stop?
Greenville, ma'am.
Well, listen. If I gave you a telegram, could you have it sent from Greenville?
Yes, ma'am. I'll go get you a blank.
No, don't do that. I have a piece of paper.
Yes, ma'am.
You're sure it'll go out all right?
Yes, and we got 5 minutes in Greenville.
Okay, that's fine. Now, let's see. Perry White, Daily Planet, Metropolis. In trouble. Have police meet... Porter, what train is this?
The Pacific Flyer, ma'am.
Thank you. Have police meet Pacific Flyer into San Francisco. Lois.
We're coming into Greenville, ma'am.
Okay, I'm finished. Now, here's the telegram, and here's $1. Please be sure and see that it's sent, will you? It's very important.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be right back to make up the bill, too, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll hurry right along and get the phone and get the thing away for you. Porter. Yes, sir. The young lady in that drawing room, is she all right?
Oh, yes, sir. She all right.
The reason I asked, Porter, is that she is not well. There is something wrong with her mind. In case she happens to say something to you that may sound queer, don't pay any attention to it.
Oh, she ain't said nothing, sir.
Fine. I just thought I would mention it.
No, sir. She ain't said nothing queer.
Good. Thank you.
Now, you please excuse me, sir, so I can go and send this telegram for her.
Oh, she gave you a telegram, did she?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think you better let me see it.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to bother sending this telegram, Porter. I'll take care of it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And come back a little later to make up the young lady's berth. Right now, I want to talk to her.
Yes, sir. I'll be right back.
So, Miss Lois Lane, you tried to put one over on Walter Huffman. That is bad. Very bad.
Come in.
Good evening, Miss Lane.
What do you want?
Oh, I just stepped in for a moment to see how you are getting along.
You don't have to worry about me.
Oh, but I do worry. You are very clever.
Get out of here. Get out or I'll ring for the porter.
That won't help you, Miss Lane. The porter understands everything.
What do you mean?
I have explained to him that you are sick. That there is something wrong with your mind.
Why, you...
Don't excite yourself, Miss Lane.
Get out of here. Get out, I say.
I shall remain with you until the train pulls out of the station we are coming into. You see, I don't trust you now. Not after the little trick with the telegram.
You know.
Yes. I have it here in my pocket. And don't try anything like it again, or you may find yourself in trouble.
Huffman, just why are you taking me with you? What are you going to do with me?
That we will decide when we reach our destination.
You've got the jade, the dragon's teeth. What more do you want?
We want to make sure we keep the jade until we are out of reach.
Greenville!
Pull that window shade down, Miss Lane.
No, I won't.
I said pull that window shade down.
No, help! Help!
Shut up, you little
help,
fool.
Please, help!
Shut up.
Help!
Stay quiet if you know what is good for you.
What's going on in there? Open up!
One moment. Remember what I have told you.
Now, what's going on here?
In here, conductor?
I'll tell you. He's keeping me prisoner here.
The young lady is not well, conductor.
That's a lie.
Well, wait a minute.
Listen. His name is Walter Huffman. He killed the Chinese back east. And what's more, he sold the dragon's teeth.
He what?
I say he stole the dragon's teeth.
Oh, see, conductor. She talks crazy.
No, I'm not crazy. I swear I'm not.
Confidentially, I am taking her to a sanitarium in California.
Oh, maybe I better get a doctor, eh?
He's lying. He killed a man. He's a murderer.
Maybe I better get a cop.
Yes, will you please call one?
As you wish, conductor, but anybody could see the poor girl is not in her right mind.
No, don't believe him. Don't believe him. Don't.
Quiet, my dear.
I guess
Quiet.
she does sound a little off. Maybe I shouldn't have bothered you.
No, please don't
That's
believe me.
quite all right,
don't.
conductor. A very valiant attempt, Miss Lane. I believe you now. Remember, you are being watched. Constantly. Good night.
That may be your call to the Capitol Hotel in Briarville, Mr. White. Maybe the operator got through.
You take it, Kent. I'm too upset about Lois being missing.
All right. Perry White's office. All right, put him on. It's the call, Mr. White.
Good.
Hello? Hello, this is Clark Kent of the Daily Planet. Clark Kent. That's right. Can you tell me whether Miss Lane is still registered at the hotel? No, Lane. Lane. That's right. I'll hold on.
I hope she's there.
Yeah. Yes? Yes? What? She did? When? Oh, I see. Who was she with? Will you repeat that, please? I see. No, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Well, is she there?
No. She left early tonight with 2 men.
2 men?
One of them was Chinese.
Well, what does that mean?
It means that somehow Walter Huffman and Hu Ling got to her. It means that they took her with them.
Kent, what are we going to do?
I can see it all now. I suspected that telegram from Lois wasn't on the level, and now I'm sure. You see what happened? Huffman wired me in Lois's name to get me back from San Francisco.
Oh, what's the difference? What happened? Where's Lois? How can we reach her?
Well, the clerk said they must have taken a Pacific Flyer. No planes were running, and it was the only train out of Briarville.
I'll have that train stopped and every inch of it searched. Hello,
Don't
operator.
Don't do that, Mr. White, don't. Huffman's no fool. He'll manage to slip through. I've got a better idea.
Never mind, operator. Well, what's the idea, Kent?
Briarville is more than 1,000 miles from Huffman's destination, the West Coast.
Yes.
The fastest train can't make it in under 10 hours.
Well, what's your idea?
I'll hop a plane and get to San Francisco before the train arrives. Then I'll meet Huffman at the station with the police.
All transport planes are grounded. You know that. And anyway,
I can hire a private ship.
No, nothing can get there in time.
I'll get there. Believe me, Mr. White.
No. We can't take a chance. There's too much at stake.
But we won't be taking any chances.
Now, look here, Kent. You're a smart boy. But there are a few things that you can't do, and one of them is whiz through the air like a bullet.
Oh, maybe I... Oh. No, of course I can't, but the private plane I mentioned can make the trip in 9 hours, maybe less.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
All right, we'll chance it. But I'll go along with you.
Oh, but you can't, Mr. White.
Well, why not?
Well, it isn't safe.
Well, if it's not safe for me, then it's not safe for you.
Oh, I don't mean that it isn't safe, but...
Well, what in the name of heaven do you mean?
Well, you see, it's only a 2-passenger plane, Mr. White. That's the reason. There's just room for the pilot and 1 passenger, and since I can stand the trip like that better than you can, I thought...
All right. Get going. But get this straight, Kent. Notify me the moment you contact Lois.
Okay, hold on.
Racing into the Daily Planet locker room, Kent strips off his street clothes and reveals himself in the blue costume and brilliant red cloak of Superman. He waits for a moment to see that no one is observing him, then strides quickly to a window.
I can catch the Pacific Flyer long before it reaches San Francisco. This is one time, Huffman, that you've bitten off a little more than you can chew. Up, and away!
Huling.
Yes, Hoffman.
I have been thinking, Huling. Thinking about that telegram Miss Lane tried to send.
It is said that Moneyman has been hung because of woman's cleverness. Beware, Hoffman.
Yes, we are too close to our goal to let it slip through our fingers now. You realize what it means, Huling? Once we have in our possession the 10 Chinese herbs mentioned by the dragon's teeth, leave alone, you and I, and medicine that will cure all disease.
But in the meantime, what about the girl?
I think it's best not to take any chances. If that telegram had been sent, the police would have been waiting for us when this train pulled into San Francisco. Maybe her friend, the reporter Kent, and the others have given orders to watch all trains.
Then what do you suggest?
The next stop is a place called Carson City. We arrive there in 10 minutes. We will get off with Miss Lane, hire or buy a car, and proceed the rest of the way by automobile.
A very clever idea, Hoffman. Very clever.
10 short minutes. Will Superman arrive before Lois has taken off the train at Carson City? Or will he once again lose Walter Huffman's trail? Don't forget to tune in next time for another thrill-packed episode with Superman.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invite you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Convicts, the most dangerous criminals in the universe, have escaped from lonely prison rock in the asteroid belt. And now, throughout the universe, all ships, patrols, and stations of the Solar Guard are on the alert for news about these desperate men.
Attention all units. Gang thought to be the escaped convicts has just raided Ganymede Colony. These men must be apprehended. End transmission. There is no present information on the criminal's whereabouts. All sectors maintain constant watch. End transmission.
Among those listening to these grim messages are Space Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning, blasting through space in a small rocket scout. They listen unhappily because, though they quelled the convict mutiny on Prison Rock, they were unable to prevent its ringleaders from escaping.
Tom, this burns my jets. First those convicts steal our ship, the Polaris, and now we get sent back to Earth.
The whole Solar Guard's on the job, Roger. And after all, we're still only cadets.
Oh, we stopped the break on Prison Rock, stopped it cold.
Yeah, but not Hogue and Bull Carson.
Blasted, Junior, that wasn't our fault. Orders or no orders, I've got a good mind to go after them.
First, we don't know where they are. Second, we'd get booted out of the academy.
I don't care.
Have your jets and keep your eye on the radar screen, Space Boy. Who knows? We may run into those babies.
Listen, Paul.
Wait, Hope. Attention coming in on the audio. Attention, all Solar Guard patrols in 3rd and 4th quadrants. The cruiser believed to be the stolen Polaris has been reported at 0400 at the following approximate position. Coordinate 684430. I repeat, coordinate 684430. End transmission. It worked, Hogue. The Solar Guard's off our track.
Yeah, for the moment. But, Bull, just about every guard and rocket scout in the universe is hunting for
Let
us.
'em hunt. This ship is fast, and we got plenty of fuel from those colonies we knocked over.
Perhaps we should lie low for a while at the hideout.
Squat on that dismal hunk of space junk, not me. I had 12 years on Prison Rock.
But, Bull, just a couple of months.
No, I said. The space freighter Alpha will be along soon, loaded with gold and vanadium and a cinch to hijack.
It's too risky. It'll take hours to transfer the stuff. If anything goes wrong, if they get a message...
Leave it to me. With the guns in this cruiser, I'll blast a hole into the Alpha's head before the crew knows we're around.
It's a terrible risk, and it means the murder...
Cut your jets of blips coming in on the screen. Cully, give me a blast in the port steering rockets.
Aye, Bob.
Bull, listen to me.
I said cut your jets. I'm running this show.
You're not. I planned to break everything. I was to be in charge.
You was to be, but you ain't. We need a man to run this show.
You're not the only one on this rocket. The other men have a right to say...
Go ahead, ask them. One word from me and they'll dump you out into space.
You wouldn't...
See me?
Let me go. Let me go.
Now keep out of my way. Yeah, that's the Alpha, all right. Millions in gold and vanadium. Give me a blast from the starboard rockets, Cully, and stand by. We're going in for the kill. We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, now there are 2 reasons why you should get the build-up wheat cereal Kellogg's Pep. First, you'll enjoy the wonderful, swell-tasting malt flavor of Kellogg's Pep. And second, you can use the box top to help get a pair of official space goggles. Now, these space goggles are the very same as the goggles issued to the space cadets at Space Academy. They're made of a special plastic for clear visibility under all space conditions. Now, don't confuse these goggles with ordinary goggles. You know, the kind with a lens over each eye. Space goggles are made of one sweeping curved piece of colored plastic, like a giant bubble that fits right over both eyes. You know, it even fits over eyeglasses, too. This advanced design is now being used by automobile racers, motorcycle riders, and other racing men. Well, now you join these men with your own space goggles. So follow these official instructions. To get your space goggles, send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, and your name and address. Repeat, 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Send to Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Don't wait, spaceman. Send for your space goggles today.
Several hours have passed since Bull Carson, the escaped convict, launched his ferocious attack on the space freighter Alpha. Now, not far from that spot, Tom and Roger and their small rocket scout receive an urgent command, crackling through space from headquarters of the Solar Guard Command.
Attention, all rocket crews in vicinity vicinity of A Quadrant, Sector 9. The space freighter Alpha en route to Earth from Jupiter has been unreported since 0900 hours. If you sight her, report immediately. This is urgent. End transmission.
Hey, Tom. A Quadrant, Sector 9. That's us.
Well, not quite.
What do you mean? It's hardly 15,000 miles
We
away.
weren't asked to search. Just watch.
Oh, now listen, Junior.
Well, okay, Roger. It may be a breach of discipline. But let's see what we can see. I don't know, Roger. We've been searching for an hour. Better get back on course for the academy.
Last, I suppose. Hey, Tom, wait. I've got a blip on the radar screen.
Where?
It's gone now. That's strange. It just seemed to drift in and out.
Sure you're not looking for an excuse to stay here?
No. There it is again.
Yeah. It's hardly moving, just floating, sort of. Roger, if that's the lost freighter, she must be in trouble.
Won't take long to find out. She's not very far from us. Hold everything, Tom, while I plot a course.
How about it, Roger? We ought to be pretty close to the space freighter now, if it is the freighter.
Should be at her position in a wink, Tom. Ease off.
Right.
Let's see if we can spot her through the viewport.
Not yet.
Ease just a touch to starboard, about a point. That's it now.
There she is. It's the Alpha, all right. And look, Roger, 2 big holes in her head.
And Tom, she's trailing vapor. Must have been shot up. Look, she's turning. There's another rocket coupled to her.
It's the Polaris.
Yeah, by the moons of Jupiter.
Quick, Roger, get on the audio to Solar Command.
Right. Tom, they've seen us. Look, the gun ports are opening on the Polaris. They're going to fire.
We've got to get out of here.
Hard to starboard.
Right.
Rings of Saturn, they got us.
Lancing shot, but our power's gone. Roger, the mass is rising like crazy. Get on the fall.
Nothing we can do, Tom. They hit the reaction chamber. We'll be blown to space junk in a minute.
Into the jet boat. We've got to bail out on the double.
That was close, Tom. We got out of there just in time.
Stow the conversation, Roger. Get on the audio and call Solar Command. This is their chance to bag those convicts.
Right. Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
No audio, Junior.
No audio?
One of those rocket blasts must have smashed it.
Oh, no.
How are we on fuel, Tom?
Oh, well, only enough for a bare 2,000 miles.
Well, we've got to find some place to let down, even if it's just a hunk of space junk.
That's true. Being cooped up in this buggy won't be very comfortable after the first couple of days. Hey, Roger. What's the blip on your radar screen?
Not too far off, whatever it is, and pretty big.
Roger, you wanted an asteroid? There it is.
Yeah. Ease off a point or two.
Right.
A little more. Right. Now, let's go. Maybe we'll find another tropical paradise in space like Delport.
Let's not bet on it. While we're underway, we can put on helmets and spacesuits. Then we'll be ready for anything. Roger, and inspect your tropical paradise.
Junior, this is the loneliest hunk of space junk I've ever seen.
What'd you expect, Venus Beach? I must admit, though, even Frozen Rock looks cheerful in comparison to this place.
How are we ever going to get off of here? Old Astro's going to miss us, Tom.
Throttle down on such talk. Our oxygen will hold out for a week, and that time anything can happen.
Oh, sure. A fairy godmother might come and wave her magic wand and say that,
hey, where you are?
Hey, who in the...
It's no fairy godmother. Look.
Well, what do you know? A real old-timer. Hey!
Don't you move!
He's pointing a parallel ray at us.
Yeah, not very friendly. Well, listen, mister.
Going. You know the law for prospecting on space junk. First man to stake a claim, it's his'n. And this is mine, Sam Harvey. Now get back in your boat and blast off.
Oh, wait a minute.
Blast off my claim or I'll burn you.
Listen, will you? We're not prospectors.
You ain't?
No, we're space cadets. My name is Tom Corbett, and this is Roger Manning.
You're talking mighty glib, but I ain't putting this gun away till I'm certain.
Who do you think we are? Two-headed men from the Milky Way?
Well, you might be a couple of them escaped convicts I heard about on my audio.
Hey, he's got a communicator.
Listen, old-timer.
Please, Mr. Harvey, can we use it to get a message out to the Solar Guard?
Solar Guard? Guess you do be space cadets. All right. Okay, I'll put away my gun.
That communicator, lead it to us.
No go. Receiver's still pretty fair, but the transmitter stopped operating years ago. I threw her away.
Oh, we sure get all the breaks.
Sorry, fellas, but leastways I can offer you a place to get out of them spacesuits.
You can?
Yep. Got a prefab space hut. Tain't nothing fancy, mind, but comfortable.
Mr. Harvey, let's get going.
See, boys, I'm a prospector. All my life I've been trying to strike it rich, digging through one pile of space junk after another. Now, right here on this asteroid, I made it. Titanium. I'm rich, boys.
Well, congratulations.
And I hear about them escaped prisoners. Then a rocket ship comes blasting over way out all the space lanes, and then you two show up.
A ship's been around here? What kind?
Well, I don't know for sure. My radar screen's pretty old. Looked like a pretty big cruiser, though.
A cruiser?
Yep. Passed over here just before you come. Seemed to set down some ways off. There's a pretty big asteroid there in Sector 8.
Tom, could it have been the Polaris?
Could very well be. Mr. Harvey, how about your rocket ship?
Well, got old Jenny, 40 years old if she's a day, and she rattles considerable, but she'll still fly. Why, Cadet?
If you could let us borrow it.
No. You want to go hunt for them convicts, don't you?
Why, yes.
Well, forget it. Forget the convicts. We'll put all the fuel into old Jenny, blast off for home, report the find, and you'll get a share of my strike. You boys will be rich, too.
Huh? Sorry, Mr. Harvey. Those men are killers, and we're going after them in the jet boat.
It's 1,000 to 1 you'll never make it, and if you do get that fur, they'll kill you.
You may be right, but we've got to go just the same. Come on, Roger, let's suit up. We've got a date with 1,000 to 1 gamble.
Look, Tom, in the viewport. That must be the asteroid we want.
And there's the valley Harvey talked about. Bowl-shaped with rock ridges all around. We've made it.
Keep onto the ridges, then we may not register on the radar screen.
Right. You see the little shelf Harvey mentioned? We'll land there, then go up to the ridge and see.
Well, land quick. I'll bet we don't have much more than a cup full of fuel in this space buggy.
Right. Here we go.
Uh-oh, fuel's gone. We didn't even have a cup full.
But it's all right. We're close enough.
That shelf looks rough.
Yeah, we're going to bounce a little. Hang on, Roger. Here we go.
Bumps a little, you said. I hope our convict friends didn't hear us.
We'll find out in a moment. Get your helmet on.
All set. Wish we had guns.
Never mind. Get the hatch open.
Right. Open she is.
Come on.
Don't hear or see a thing, Tom.
If anybody's here, they'll be in the bowl. We'll jump the ridge and look-see.
That's a good 40 feet, Junior.
Well, there's practically no gravity here. We'll float up like bubbles. Let's go, and as quiet as you can. One more jump, and we'll be at the top of the ridge, Roger. Easy now. Don't let them see you.
This is a wild goose chase. Old Harvey's got crank jets.
No, he hasn't. Hold it and look.
Tom, there's the Polaris.
And Bull Carson, Hogue, and Cully.
With 3 other guys. So this is their hideout.
Looks like.
Okay, so there they are, and here we are. 6 of them, 2 of us, and they've got guns. So what do we do?
I don't know yet. We've got to think of something. Hey, what's that? Roger, look.
Another rocket coming down. Tom, maybe... No, that's no Solar Guard ship. It's some old jalopy. It's landed. Tom, that must be Sam Harvey's ship.
Wait, Roger. The pilot's getting out.
Tom, it is Sam Harvey.
I got him, Cully. Take his ray gun.
Got it, Bull. Let me go, you fool.
You're the fool, looks like.
I come to make a deal, blast you. I know you're them escaped convicts. Now let me go.
Stop struggling. You can't get loose. That's a good boy, Pop. Now, what's this about a deal?
Look, I need fuel. You got lots of it. I'm rich. Found an asteroid back in Sector 7. Got titanium on it, plenty.
Sector 7, huh?
Yeah, you give me fuel to find my report now, and I'll give you half interest in the whole work.
Why should we take half when we can have it all?
Listen,
yourself. We give you fuel, what's to prevent your telling the Solar Guard where to find it?
I won't do nothing like that.
You bet you won't.
What's going on here, Bull?
Hogue, we just found ourselves a titanium mine.
We also found an old goat who knows too much for his own good. Take off your spacesuit, Grandpa.
Huh? What for?
You're going to take a little trip out into space. Maybe you can find another mine for yourself.
Ha! What a sense of humor, Bull. Okay, Whiskers, take off this suit.
You can't do that. I'll die.
Tough luck.
Bull, I don't like
Quit
this.
interfering, Hogue.
I won't allow it.
Ollie, take it.
Let me go.
You've gotten in my way for the last time, Hogue.
You can't. I won't.
For the last time. Old Whiskers is going to have a partner in space.
Tom, those convicts are going to kill Harvey and Hogue.
I know, Roger.
What'll we do? We can't just sit here.
No.
But if we show ourselves, they'll blast us to ribbons. Think of something, Tom. Think of something.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Spacemen, send for your official Space Cadet goggles right away. These goggles, part of every Space Cadet's equipment, are so useful. You want to carry them and wear them every day. You know, Roger Manning says space goggles are just about the most important things a spaceman can have. Right, Roger?
You bet, spaceman. When I'm working up on the radar bridge of the Polaris, there are a lot of flashing lights flickering around. Wearing space goggles protects my eyes. And you know, these aren't regular goggles. They're advanced design goggles for use out in space. One sweeping curved piece of clear-colored plastic, like the observation blister in a jet boat, or a giant bubble that fits right over both eyes. Send for your space goggles right away. Space Academy Supply Headquarters has them all ready and waiting for you. If you're smart, you'll send for an extra pair, too, so you'll have them for emergencies.
Good idea, Roger. And now, spacemen, write this down. Here's how to get your official Space Cadet goggles. Send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, and your name and address. Repeat, 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, your name and address. Send to Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Hop to it, spacemen. Send for your space goggles right away. And remember, start off your day with a spaceman's breakfast. Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Trailing the escaped convicts to a bowl-shaped valley on their hideaway asteroid, Tom Corbett and Roger Manning see Sam Harvey, an old prospector, land in his rocket ship. Harvey tries to make a deal with the criminals, but they have other ideas. And when Hogue, one of the convicts, attempts to come to his rescue, Bull Carson goes for them both. As a terrific fight ensues, Tom and Roger see their chance.
What are we going to do, Tom?
Now, while they're fighting, we've got to take over the Polaris.
You're space happy. It's way down there.
No gravity. We can get to it in 3 big jumps. Just pray that Hogue and Harvey keep them so busy they can't look our way.
Okay, I'm ready.
Right, here we go, boy, like kangaroos. One more jump, Roger, and we'll be at the Polaris.
Come on, Junior, take off.
They spotted us.
They're shooting at us. Heat ray.
Yeah, but missing.
So far.
We're coming down right at the Polaris airlock. When we land, scramble in fast. Great. Here's the airlock. Get in.
Okay, Tom, I'll close up. They found the range with those guns.
Yeah, too late. The Polaris can take it.
Good old Polaris. Let's get to the deck guns, Tom.
Right. Get your helmet off. We can work better. I'll man this forward gun. You take the aft projector.
Okay. They're still trying with the heat ray.
Fire over their heads. That'll stop them.
That
did it, Junior. Look, they're scrambling for cover like rats.
Fine, just give them a blast now and then to remind them who's boss.
How about Sam Harvey? I don't want him harmed, even if he did try to make a deal with those crooks.
Well, dreams of wealth went to his head, I guess. We'll get him, Roger. Don't worry.
No?
In a few minutes. Now I want to get on the audio and tell Prison Rock to send us a paddy wagon. They'll be very glad to hear the revolt of the convicts is over.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets on Tuesday, when the cadets involved in the settlement of a great new planet are confronted by the vultures of space. Tune in, same time, same station for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Jan Merlin, Joseph Boland, James McCallion, and Cameron Andrews. Today's program was written by Ben Peter Freeman and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Boys and girls, this is Tom Corbett. Our program, Tom Corbett Space Cadet, has received the annual award from the Boy Scouts of America as the Outstanding Family Entertainment of the Year. We sincerely appreciate this award and will continue to promote the fine examples and standards set by the Boy Scouts of America.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran, raisins and bran flakes too. They're out of this world, they're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Kellogg's raisins are honeycomb coated to keep them tender, the bran flakes crisper. Kellogg's Raisin Bran, raisins and bran flakes too. They're out of this world, they're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape. Brought to you by the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York and the independent marketers of Richfield gasolines, motor oils, and other petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps.
Tonight, we escape to the interior of China and a journey of terror down the Yangtze River from Chongqing to Shanghai, as John and Gwen Bagney tell it in their gripping story of a people in turmoil, the Shanghi Document.
The Yangtze River is a gray gash through the heart of China, the artery that pulsates day and night with displaced humanity. From Chongqing to Shanghai, it's 1,500 crooked miles through deep-gutted gorges. But for those of us who took the steamer downriver in those frantic months just after the war, it was a voyage dominated by fear and intrigue and danger. It started in the saloon of the 10 Golden Pieces over a glass of gin, in the company of the man whose face wore many racial strains, but no pride of ancestry and no hope for his descendants, and no name, as far as I could discover, other than the Eurasian.
The word re-echoes in the marketplace that you desperately seek transportation to Shanghai.
The word is correct. The word is also correct that I'm stranded.
One wonders if you lack money.
No. I lack influence.
One knows of a way to Shanghai.
What? You know of a way?
Have you the courage to attempt the Yangtze in a junk?
Well, at this point, I would consider doing it in a canoe.
One hears of a junk that is obtainable for a price.
Well, how much?
One can always make a deal.
Where is this junk? Can I see it?
It's on the opposite bank of the Kialing at the dock at Tiangpei.
Could I rent it or could I hire it?
You would have to buy it.
Buy it? Well, I couldn't navigate it myself.
I have thought of that. The owner would take you to Shanghai, where you would, in gratitude, return the junk to him as a gift.
Oh, I see. I buy it here and give it back to him in Shanghai. That's a cute wrinkle.
You do not favor the wrinkle?
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. If I can get out of Chongqing, I'm crazy about it. Come on, let's go.
One moment. The money. It must be in American dollar.
Oh, well, of course.
Then, as you say, okay, let's go.
We slogged through the slime of the gutters. The night was misty. The chill wind carried with it the stench of the river. It carried, too, the unforgettable stench of poverty and death. The Eurasian led me down the 1,000-stone steps to the waterfront where a sampan ferried us across to the suburb known as Tiangpei. There, at an ill-lit makeshift dock, the Eurasian talked to a wizened coolie while I inspected the junk. Well, what's the matter? What's he saying?
He does not wish to take you.
Oh, well, you can tell him it's okay with me. Junk's a good name for this boat. It's exactly what it is. I wouldn't risk my life in it back in the Arkansas River.
Oh, wait. Where are you going?
Back across the river, Chongqing.
But you are anxious to get to Shanghai.
Not that anxious.
But what about my commission?
Look, I didn't buy the boat, did I?
I've gone to a good deal of trouble for you tonight. You have money?
Look, I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Oh, no. Huh? You don't leave me like
this. Wait a minute.
Lie still.
Huh?
I said lie still.
Who are you? Where is that? Oh, my back. He broke my back.
Your back's not broken. Take your shirt off.
Huh?
I'm a doctor.
Oh, how did I get here?
A dirty man in a white suit brought you.
Yeah, the Eurasian.
He said he found you in the street.
He did, huh? Why? Hey, wait a minute. My money. The money is gone.
Turn over on your side.
No, wait a minute.
Lie face down, please.
Huh?
Now, where does your back hurt?
All over.
Here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about here?
No.
Well, it's nothing, just a pulled ligament.
Oh.
Sprain. I'll get my bag and tape it for you.
You're an American, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Kansas.
No, I'm kidding. So am I. Wichita.
What happened to you tonight? Saloon brawl?
No. I guess I was just a little too anxious to get to Shanghai. I was even considering a leaky junk down the Yangtze.
Why do you want to go to Shanghai?
I'm correspondent. That's where the big story is today.
Well, if you want to go, why don't you take the river steamer?
Oh, that's funny. I've only been trying for months to get a ticket on the thing.
Lie still, please. Now inhale.
All right.
Exhale. Hold it.
Right.
I want this adhesive to be good and tight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm taking the boat to Shanghai tomorrow.
You are?
Don't talk, please. I didn't have any trouble getting a ticket.
Yeah, but...
Hold still, please.
Mm-hmm.
If this tape isn't tight, it won't do you any good. Got to have connections in China today. I was lucky. I've been out here 6 years. I know a lot of people. There. Is that too tight?
Well, it's tight.
And that's the way you want it.
Well, it feels a lot better.
That'll do the trick, though. You'll have to keep it on at least a week.
Yeah. Well, how much do I owe you, Doc?
Oh. Make it a pack of cigarettes.
Ow. It's pretty high. As a matter of fact, I haven't got quite a full pack, but you can have it. Here.
Thanks.
What do they call you back in Kansas?
Well, in Kansas, they call me Jane Roma. In China, I'm known as Girl Doctor. You know, I was just thinking, if you're really serious about wanting to go to Shanghai...
Serious?
I can get you a ticket on the downriver boat tomorrow.
Well, it's almost impossible to get a ticket. How?
Does it matter how I get it, as long as I get it?
Lady, if you can get me out of Chongqing, nothing matters. I'll pay you back in Shanghai.
What's your name?
Tony Daner.
Well, Tony Dana, there'll be a ticket waiting for you at the steamship office tomorrow morning and a little money for traveling expenses.
What? I can't believe it. What are you looking at me so funny for?
You're amazing.
Why?
You're the first man I've ever met who didn't comment on my being both a woman and a doctor.
Oh, well, now, don't get me wrong, girl doctor. The combination fascinates me, but what I like most is your ability to pull a steamer ticket out of the hat.
Oh, I have many talents.
Well, let's kick him around.
No. You go to your room and rest. Take care of that back.
Okay, you're the doctor.
But I can tell you this.
What?
I'm glad you're going to Shanghai with me.
The boat was a squat, ugly, gray thing, as dirty as the river she sat in. Already her decks were crawling with discarded bits of humanity, some asleep, some curled around their meager possessions. But in one way, they were all alike. On their faces was the great patience that is so often worn by the have-nots of this world. At the head of the gangplank, a beefy-looking white man was herding us aboard.
Get these people on. How was your ticket? Ticky. Yeah, okay, move along. Okay, you next. Ticket?
Yeah, just a minute. I got it here someplace.
Hurry up. Get it out. I got a schedule to keep. Come on.
Can't you see my hands are full?
2 suitcases. Nobody needs 2 suitcases. Leave one of them behind.
But I need them both.
I said leave one of them behind.
My books are in there.
Then leave the other one. I don't care.
Look, there's nothing on the ticket that says how much you can carry. Who are you to be pushing me around?
I'm skipper of the scow. Radigan, that's the name. Keep it in mind.
It's just a suitcase.
Listen, I want this river to make money. If I can pick up one paying fare in place of your precious suitcase, I'm for it, see? You got your choice, mister. Either put one suitcase off or I put you off.
Gee, you got a crummy racket.
So I'm a crummy guy. Well, which is it? I'm in a hurry.
Okay. This one.
That's better. Now let's see your ticket. And your passport.
Here.
Yeah. Anthony Dana, American. Okay, move along. If this river wasn't so lousy loaded up with foreigners who don't have any business being here, maybe we could move some Chinese.
And that was my introduction to Captain Radigan, skipper of the scow, as obnoxious a personality as I've run into. He considered every Occidental a foreigner except himself. Well, I picked my way across the littered deck, climbing over soldiers and whining children. I was one of the lucky passengers. Mine was a first-class ticket, entitling me to a stateroom, or should I say, to half a stateroom. And I was on my way to it when the Chinese officer stopped me.
See your papers, please.
Well, I just showed my papers to the captain.
See your papers, your passport, everything.
What is this? Everybody wants to look at my papers. Who are you, anyway?
I am Lieutenant Chen. Will you show me your papers, or shall we create unfortunate incident for you?
Oh, for Pete's sake. All right, here you are.
That is better. It says here your name is Anthony Dene. You are American citizen. Your occupation is correspondent.
Yeah, look, I know what it says. You don't have to read it to me.
Papers are in order.
Well, I could have told you that.
The matter is closed. Paper in order. You may proceed to your stateroom.
Thanks.
Hello there.
Oh, hello. Well, I guess we're roommates. I'm Daner.
Oh, I am? I mean you are? Oh, yeah, well, I'm Vickers. Come in. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks.
Yes. You know, I've just been wondering what sort of a chap I'd draw to bunk with. Oh, of course, I don't mind, you understand, when I'm out in the field, a missionary gets condition, if you know what I mean. I mean condition, what? Yeah, stable, a bit of straw, bare ground. But indoors, I remember, I'm an Englishman. I like comfort, you know, pleasant company.
Well, I hope you like cockroaches, because they've got us outnumbered.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, well, cockroaches and I are old friends. I say, look here. Why don't you stow your gear and come up on deck? You know, it's quite something to see when Ratigan starts his old steamer downriver. You would think it was the Queen Mary. You would really. All the ceremony he puts into it.
I wouldn't watch Ratigan launch a rocket to the moon.
Well, that's not likely, you know. I mean, what happened? The old sea dog get your back up or something?
Well, he made me leave a suitcase behind. It was full of books I've been years collecting.
Well, that sounds like him. Are you coming?
No, you go ahead, Vickers. I'll see you later.
Yeah, right, you.
As I unpacked what I needed for the trip, I could feel the old boat gather all her strength together and move, groaning into the deep water channel, and I forgot about my lost books. I was on the Yangtze, on my way at last to Shanghai. On my way to the big story, and I felt a curious kind of thrill. I was part of China on the move. The cabin was close and stuffy. I went up on deck to get some air. I was kind of hoping to run into Girl Doctor. Then I saw her, standing at the prow of the boat, talking animatedly with my roommate, the missionary.
Ah, there you are, Dana. Glad you came up. Come on over and meet a charming fellow passenger. Dr. Roma, may I present Mr. Dana?
How do you do? Dana, did you say? It's an odd name. Have you been in China long?
Well, wait a minute.
He's an American, you know. One of your countrymen, Dr. Roma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kansas.
Oh, is that so?
I say, we're lucky, aren't we, Dana? Having such a beautiful doctor aboard, huh? It might make it worth a man's while to be ill or something, eh?
Well, I hope that won't happen. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have some unpacking to do. Awfully nice to have met you, Mr.
Daner.
Oh, yes. I'll see you later, Miss Vicker.
She smiled at me like you smile at a stranger you've just met. There was no sign at all of recognition. And from then on, she avoided me. Well, at first, it made me a little sore. My male ego was wounded, I guess. I thought she'd gotten me a ticket because she wanted to see me again. Now I wondered, why had she gotten it? There was something wrong with this whole business. We were scheduled to tie up at Yichang overnight, and I was looking forward to breaking up the trip by night ashore. I was on my way to my stateroom to get my bag. Girl Doctor. Dr. Roma. It's Tony Daner. What's wrong?
Go away.
No, I'm coming in.
Please.
What's the matter? What's happening?
Nothing. Nothing happened.
You always wear your hair mussed like that, your blouse ripped, and your luggage, that's the way you like it, I suppose, dumped, sprawled all over the room?
It's none of your affair, Tony. Keep out of it.
Look, you're going to tell me? What's going on
Please,
anyway?
keep out of it.
No, you're scared. You need help.
Just get out and leave me alone.
All right, maybe Captain Radigan knows the answer.
No, wait a minute, Tony.
What?
All right. I came into my stateroom. It was dark, but I could tell there was somebody in here. Then he grabbed me. I tried to fight away from him. I screamed, but he got out. I turned on the light.
Who was it?
I don't know. A soldier, I think. A Chinese soldier.
Well, what was he looking for? What are you carrying? The crown jewel?
It isn't funny, Tony. They're after the Shanghai document. But they didn't get it, not this time.
The Shanghai document? What's that?
Just a piece of paper. But it might hold the destiny of China.
Oh, in what way?
A new leader has been found in the west of China, but only a few trusted people know his identity. A man who very possibly could unite his people, lead them out of war. I don't have to tell you what that means to China, Tony. The document contains his name, his plan of action, and his written acceptance of the great responsibility, and it must get into the right hands in Shanghai.
And if it doesn't?
A lot of heads will fall. And China will have lost a chance for peace.
And you're the messenger, huh? Why?
I'm a sympathizer. I was chosen because I'm an American. We thought they wouldn't suspect an American.
Well, Radigan's an American. I'm an American. Why pick on... Oh, hey, wait a minute. And that's the reason you got my ticket for me. That's why you've been giving me the wide berth. You were using me as a decoy in case they got wise.
I'm sorry, Tony. But you did want to get to Shanghai.
Yeah, but with one stipulation. I'd like to get there alive.
Attention, motorist. Petroleum chemists have discovered new super-octane gasoline components of great importance to you. And one of the highest octane components ever discovered is xylene. Now listen to this. Today, every gallon of Richfield gasoline contains xylene. Xylene helps give Richfield gasoline that high Antonox performance, that eager response in traffic, that smooth, surging power that turns mountains into molehills. What's more, there's a Richfield gasoline to fit the power requirements of your motor. Select Richfield Ethyl for best results in the highest compression motors, or Richfield High Octane at regular price for the average motor. Each Richfield brand is tops in its class. Don't waste gasoline, don't waste money. Let the Richfield dealer help you select the right Richfield gasoline for your car. And remember, every gallon of Richfield gasoline contains xylene, one of the highest octane components ever discovered. And now, we return you to Escape.
I didn't see Girl Doctor as the boat tied up at Yichang, but I worried about her plenty. Girl has no business carrying a thing as explosive as the Shanghai Document. Now that she dragged me into it to confuse whoever was after it, I was a little jumpy myself.
Mr. Dana?
Huh? Oh, Lieutenant Chen.
You are planning to go ashore.
Yeah, that was my plan. Why?
Very dangerous for Americans to be alone in China nowadays. Many bandits, thieves.
Yeah, I know, but I hope it won't throw Army regulations in an uproar if I go ashore anyway.
Sorry, your business, merely suggestion.
Yeah, well, thanks. See you around, Chen.
Hey, Dana! Now, where do you think you're going?
Sure, do you mind?
Matter of fact, I do. When I start out with a boatload of people, I like to deliver them. I don't like no trouble, and your going ashore is just asking for it.
You trying to tell me I can't go ashore, Captain Radigan?
Look, sweetheart, the only thing I'm trying to tell you is watch your step.
So you told me. I've been warned. Now I'd like to get going.
Okay, bilgehead. It's your neck.
Oh, I say dinner.
Oh,
Dinner.
Here we go again.
Are you going ashore?
And what's your objection, Vickers?
Objection?
Yeah.
Well, I don't get it, old boy. I was going ashore myself, and I thought we might make a party of it. You know I speak the dialect, and I thought it might come in handy.
Well, I thought for a minute...
You thought what?
Oh, never mind. Come on.
You know, the last time I was in Yichang, there was a very nice hotel. Let's try it. That is, of course, if it hasn't been bombed. What? Oh, the proprietor, a Chinese, very good friend of mine, serves the
Vickers, wait a minute. What's that?
What's what? Where?
There at the foot of the gangplank, a whole platoon of soldiers.
Oh, they're probably on the lookout for a deserter.
Yeah. Well, come on, let's get off the boat.
Yes. Oh, I say, look, they're going to stop us.
Your passport, please.
Certainly. Right here.
Oh, passport in order. Proceed.
Oh, thanks awfully.
Can I see your passport?
Look, I've been checked and double-checked.
You better do as he says, old boy.
Okay, here.
It's messy, this red tape. Necessary, I suppose, but sometimes I do think they overdo it.
Oh, your passport not in order.
Not in order?
No, please, better you come with me.
Well, wait a minute, where to? What for?
Impossible. Proceed to Shanghai. Papers not clarified.
What are you talking about?
But I say, who can't take him off the boat like this?
Oh, you know. Passport not in order. Complete.
He took me to a command car which drove me to field headquarters on the hills above Yichang. No matter what I said to him, no matter how much I argued, all I got out of him was passport not in order. Well, they gave me a place to sleep and something to eat and a couple of guards to watch me. The river steamer was scheduled to leave Yichang at dawn. I was hoping they'd release me by then, but the dawn slipped in and the steamer slipped out. And I heard it in the distance, the whistle. I felt sunk. How was I to explain to these guys that I was just a decoy? They'd picked off the wrong American, that the thing they wanted, the Shanghai Document, was on its way down the Yangtze. And I heard them coming down the hall. I didn't know what I was in for, but I braced myself. At least I'd go down fighting.
Mr. Dana.
Yeah?
Passport is in order. Can go now.
Go? Now you tell me. Look, did you hear that whistle? The steamer's gone. How do I get to Shanghai now? Swim?
1,000 apologies for ignorant mistake. American passport, very confusing.
Yeah, sure, but what do I do now?
Please come with me. I've made arrangements.
I was apologized to in several dialects. Then I got back into the command car and was driven down past the river landing to a secluded spot where a sampan tended by 2 coolies was waiting. I was politely but forcibly put aboard. I turned around to protest, but it was too late. The coolies had pulled the sampan away from shore into the center of the river, and back on shore, the Chinese officer was smiling broadly. Well, anyway, I was on my way to Shanghai again. And I sat back to smoke a cigarette, but I was out of matches, and I nudged the coolie in front of me. Hey, you, Ketchum, Matchy, you know?
Certainly, Mr. Dana.
Huh?
Here you are. May I light it for you?
Lieutenant Chen, what are you doing on this sampan?
I also have missed the boat.
Yeah, but well, why the coolie outfit?
It's not safe for lone soldier to travel by himself. I am, as you Americans say, coming along for the ride.
You know what I think, Chen? I think I'm the one that's being taken for a ride. I couldn't understand it. If they had thought I had the document, why hadn't they searched me? Why did they let me go? Why was Chen on my tail? I decided to find out just how much of a watchdog Chen was. We'd been on the river all day, and it was just getting dark when we pulled up at a rickety bamboo landing. Chen was singing as he helped the coolie repair a sail. They weren't paying any attention to me. I crawled silently off the boat onto the dock.
Mr. Dana, I should regret to have to kill you before we reach Shanghai. Come back in boat, please.
Well, you can't blame the guy for trying.
If you are wise, you will not try again.
We passed Nanking, turned off the Yangtze into the Yunho Canal. Chen never seemed to sleep. He watched me constantly. But as he and the other coolie maneuvered the sampan into Suchow Creek on the Shanghai waterfront, I realized that I had one final chance. It was dusk. The creek was filled with a floating city, thousands of sampans, each with their family washings flying aloft, their babies, their suppers cooking. They were on either side of us, within scraping distance. And suddenly I leaped across the one on the left.
Mr. Dana, stop!
He wouldn't dare shoot in such a crowded place. He couldn't hope to hit me, but he jumped across, and I was already on the next sampan. And jumping from sampan to sampan, I zigzagged my way to the bank and lunged into the crowded, filthy waterfront of Shanghai. I looked back once. I couldn't see Lieutenant Chen anywhere. I'd lost him. I took a deep breath. I felt free, safe from the crowd. And then I saw him. Not 10 feet away, Captain Radigan, and with him 2 huge Mongolians.
Dana! Don't try to get away, Dana! Come back!
I moved fast, elbowing my way through the matted humanity, and ran down the bund like the devil himself was after me. And I finally stopped, out of breath, in a cluttered back alley. It was dark. Radigan was no place to be seen. Neither were the Mongolians. I was quite alone. Well, I had one friend in Shanghai, Vickers, the missionary. He'd given me his address. I found a rickshaw driver who knew where it was, and he took me there. It was one of those old Chinese dwellings with a high wall around it. I knocked at the gate, but nobody answered. I opened the gate, walked into the garden.
Well, it's about time you showed up, Dana.
Radigan.
We've been waiting a long time for you.
Radigan, what are you... It took me a minute to recognize the smell of the cloth on my face. Chloroform.
How do you feel?
Huh? Oh, you again.
Don't try to get up, and don't yell. This is a hospital. You'll disturb the other patients.
A hospital? Why is it every time I come to, you're there? What do? Follow your patients around?
I'm sorry, Tony.
Yeah, sure.
You were going to see Vickers. We couldn't let you do that. Captain Radigan.
Yeah, Doctor.
Give me a hand, will you?
Oh, no. Get away from me. Hey, what are you going to...
Now, come on, Dana. Up, sit on your stomach.
Hey, let me go.
Just relax, Tony. Time for your bandage to come off.
No!
Thanks a lot, Tony Dana.
That adhesive tape, you want to pull the skin off my back? What do you think What do you say?
I said thanks a lot. For carrying the Shanghai document through safely.
The document?
Mm-hmm. It was on your back under the adhesive tape. I put it there back in Chongqing.
You did? Then Radigan?
Radigan and Lieutenant Chen and the soldiers who took you off the boat were all working under orders. Protecting you.
Yeah, well, I ran away from them. I thought that they
were... you sure gave us a bum time.
Well, what do you want me to do? Apologize?
Oh, Tony, please. We treated you badly, I know, but we couldn't let you go to Vickers.
Vickers, the missionary?
Anyone can wear his collar backwards. Vickers was the one who was after the document. We had to get you off the boat and away from him before he discovered that I didn't have it.
Oh, Vickers, huh?
Mm-hmm. Tony, I hope you know you've done a great thing for China.
Yeah. Well, now that I've done so much for China, suppose you do something for me.
Well, anything.
Okay. Get dressed up. Let's go out in the town and have dinner.
Oh, Tony, we'd love it. We can meet you in an hour.
We?
My husband and I. Jerry.
Your husband?
You'll love him, Tony. He's a wonderful guy. He's from Kansas, too.
This is the age of science, an age in which science has made vast strides in medicine, in nuclear energy, and in the field of petroleum chemistry. For example, petroleum chemists have discovered new superoctane gasoline components of great importance to every motorist. And one of the highest octane components ever discovered is xylene. Now, listen to this. Today, every gallon of Richfield gasoline contains xylene. The xylene component of Richfield gasoline helps give your car that high anti-knock performance, that extra zip in traffic, that velvet smoothness under the hood. Try Richfield gasoline with xylene. Take your choice of Richfield high octane at regular price for the average motor, or Richfield ethyl for best results in the highest compression motors. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. Get Richfield gasoline containing xylene tomorrow. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson and has tonight presented Shanghai Document by John and Gwen Bagney. Featured in the cast were John Daner as Tony, Joan Banks as Dr. Jane Roma, Ben Wright as Vickers and the Eurasian, Bill Conrad as Rattigan, Benson Fong as Lieutenant Chen, Charles Lung as the officer, and Paul Frees as the voice of Escape. Special music was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You were on a small launch off the California coast, about to dive 20 feet below the surface to reach a man's body and to recover an object identifying his murderer, who's standing at your side and from whom there is no escape.
Next week at the same time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape with the story of a man who stumbled onto what seemed the easiest way in the world to make $1 million. As H.V. Dixon tells it in his exciting new book, Something for Nothing. Be listening. Goodbye, then, until the same time next week when once again we offer you Escape. Tom Hanlon speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy have just entered a spaceship in Neptune City Spaceport in search of a traitor against the United Planets. They pause in the open hatch a moment.
He may be up forward, tampering with the controls.
Wrong guess, gentlemen.
Commander, look out!
Stay where you are, Cadet.
Oh, yeah?
Cardo,
put down that gun.
Don't try to get to your feet, Commander. You'll get what the Cadet got.
What are you doing in this ship?
Preparing it for its last voyage. There's an explosive hidden aboard, timed to go off 2 hours after blastoff. And you, my friends, will be aboard.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Queen of Space. Gang, this is Space Patroller Dick Tufeld at an Aquajet boat race on Mars. Now, my favorite is the Shooting Star. But, hey, it doesn't have a chance. That driver's filling up the tank with ordinary fuel. You see what I mean? No zip, no zoom. Hey, but wait. The driver's now putting in some super fuel. Wow, look at the Shooting Star go. Bound to be a winner now because she's supercharged. Supercharged with super fuel. Now, you want to be a winner, too, don't you, gang? You bet. In sports, in school, in everything you do. Well, then remember the story of the Shooting Star. Ordinary fuel, ordinary start. Super fuel, super start. So don't wait. Get supercharged. And gang, get supercharged the way Buzz Corey does. Eat a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal, like Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. some cereals, yes, sir. If you want flavor, just get Chex. If you want something different, just get Chex. Chex, Chex. Right for a bite because they're bite-sized. Get them at your grocer's today in the red and white checkerboard package. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex, the bite-sized super cereals that help to supercharge you. Commander Corey, Cadet Happy, and Tonga, Assistant Security Chief of the United Planets, are on the planet Uranus to investigate a series of accidents that have occurred to passenger ships. In the chart room of the Space Patrol office, Buzz is briefing Happy and Tonga.
You two have made a lot of flights between the outer planets, so I don't have to impress on you the tremendous distances involved.
No, sir.
And you know that here on Uranus, we're outside the orbits of 7 of the 10 planets of the solar system.
And yet we're barely halfway between the Sun and Pluto.
That's right. Now, everyone realizes that the companies running freight and passenger ships between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are working under handicaps.
Yeah, the long hauls cut down on their profits.
Right. A freighter could make 16 trips from Earth to Mercury, for example, while other freighters make only 1 trip from Neptune to Pluto.
But that doesn't explain all these accidents on the outer planet runs.
No, it doesn't, Tonga. At least not entirely.
Unless the companies are cutting down on safety checkups to save money.
Robbie and I thought that was the explanation at first. However, it's a pretty short-sighted company that would cut corners on inspections, especially when it keeps losing ships like Spaceways Incorporated.
Now, one good thing, no passengers have been lost.
No, not yet. It's our job to find out what the trouble is before any human lives are sacrificed.
Well, from the reports, Spaceways Incorporated have had most of the accidents.
Yes. Of course, the RMU concern, they haven't had the experience that transorbit lines have had.
Commander, isn't Transorbit operated by a woman?
Yes. And she's a very capable manager, according to all reports. Her name is Jelna Fenton.
Well, I thought Transorbit just handled the inner planet surface.
Yeah, they did until recently. But now they have half a dozen ships on the runs between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto.
Have they been having trouble, too?
A little, but not nearly so much as Spaceways. Now, our regular Space Patrol inspectors haven't been able to find the source of the difficulty. So we're going to do a little undercover work. That's where you come in, Tonga.
Yes, Commander.
You'll pose as a writer for a magazine, gathering material for a series of articles on living conditions on the outer planets.
Good. Then I can make trips from planet to planet without arousing suspicion.
Yes, and it'll give you a chance to observe conditions around spaceports and watch the personnel.
What do you and I do, Commander?
Well, for the time being, we'll just make routine inspections of Space Patrol bases and keep in touch with Tonga.
How do you want me to contact you, Commander?
Use your miniature spaceophone. Keep it with you at all times.
I will.
And don't use it when there's anyone around.
When do I start?
Immediately. There's a Spaceways passenger ship leaving Uranus for Pluto in the morning. Be aboard it.
Right, Commander.
Happy now blast off in Terra the 5th a few hours after your ship leaves. I got your message, gentlemen. What's up?
You can cancel that trip to Mercury, Cardo. You're staying here on Neptune.
What about that Spaceways ship I was supposed to, fix?
I've already arranged it.
Oh, what happens this time? Does the oxygen reclaiming unit give out?
No, we won't use that one again for a while. I've got a better one.
Yeah? What?
The orbit computer. It's been tampered with, so it'll give the wrong vector.
Oh, that's not so serious.
Oh, isn't it? On a run to Pluto with a full passenger list, you know how little reserve power those Spaceways ships have.
Hey, that's right. They'll run out before they can get back on course. Unless they get a spaceophone fixed from Space Control.
They won't be able to. Halfway to Pluto, their spaceophone power unit will fail.
A few more accidents like this, and nobody will get aboard a Spaceway ship.
Which means that Transorbit will have all the business.
I've sure got to hand it to you, Jelna. At first, I thought you were crazy to take on these outer planet runs.
It would have been crazy if we were merely going to be satisfied with a few crumbs that Spaceways didn't want to be bothered with.
If you keep on, Jelna, you'll be known as the Queen of Space.
Queen of Space. You know, Cardo, I think I rather like.
We're on vector, sir.
Yes. You know, that's the 4th time you've checked in the last half hour. We're on automatic control.
Oh, gee, sir, a guy has to do something to keep busy. We're still 10 million DUs from Pluto, and I've read every tech manual in the ship.
Imagine having to make this run every day, Happy, on a freighter.
Oh, no, thanks. I'd go crazy.
Tonga calling Commander Corey. Tonga calling Commander Corey.
Maybe she's getting bored, too.
Corey here. Go ahead, Tonga.
Commander, something's wrong aboard this passenger ship.
Well, what's the trouble? Where are you?
I'm in my private compartment. I think the ship is off course.
Happy, get a fix on Tonga's signal.
Yes, sir.
What makes you think you're off course, Tonga?
I overheard a couple of the crew members whispering. They don't want to alarm the passengers, but I know the steward is very worried.
Well, how could the ship get off course?
I don't know, but I heard the steward say that the ship's spacephone is out of commission.
Does anyone aboard know you've got a miniature spaceophone?
No, Commander.
I've got a fix, sir. They sure are off course by nearly 30 degrees.
Did you hear that, Tonga?
Yes.
And they must have been off for some time. There are thousands of DUs from the regular space lane.
Tonga, listen. I could spaceophone the correct course for you to give to the pilot, but that would mean somebody would know you're a Space Patrol agent. Of course, if the ship is really in trouble...
I don't think so. At least not yet.
Well, then Happy and I'll change vector and come close enough so that the pilot will pick us up in his viewscope. He'll naturally follow us.
And you lead the ship to Pluto.
Oh, just a minute. Got the position charted, Happy?
Yes, sir. They're about here.
Tonga, you're much closer to Neptune than to Pluto. These outer planet ship line operations don't have too much reserve power. We'll lead you back to Neptune.
All right, Commander.
We're changing vector now. We should be in viewscope range in about half an hour. To go out and mingle with the passengers. Contact me if any serious trouble develops.
Right, Commander.
Corey out. Well, Happy, what was it you were saying about this Pluto run being boring? Here's that schedule of Spaceways flights, Jonah. Most of them are inward bound from Pluto.
Spaceways Comet is due this afternoon at Neptune City Spaceport. Leaves for Neptune's moon tomorrow morning.
That doesn't give us much time.
True, but it might give us a fine opportunity.
How do you mean?
Well, there's short haul to the moon coming up tomorrow. Chances are the maintenance crew won't do much work on the ship.
Yeah, that's right. They'll wait till he gets back. Unless there's something that needs immediate attention.
All right, Cardo. Keep an eye on the Comet when it comes in. After that long run from Pluto, the pilot and the rest of the crew will probably head for town for a good time.
Yeah, you're right, Jonah. Say, I wonder how that other ship's making out, the big passenger job.
Well, right now, the pilot's probably discovering he's millions of DUs off course and with a low power supply. But don't start making any inquiries, Cardo.
Don't worry. I'll wait for the official announcement. Another Spaceways ship lost.
You think they see us, sir?
They ought to. They show up strong enough in our viewscope.
Well, I hope the pilot has sense enough to follow us.
He'll probably be very glad to, Happy. I'm going to change vector now. Watch the screen, see if he follows us.
Yes, sir.
How about it, Happy?
I think he's got the idea all right, sir.
Tonga calling Commander Corey.
Corey here. Go ahead, Tonga.
I'm back in my compartment. Everything's all right.
Good. Does the pilot know we're headed for Neptune?
He just made an announcement through the public address system. We passengers have been told that the ship is making an emergency landing in Neptune.
There's no panic, I hope.
No, we've been assured that it's nothing serious. There's a lot of grumbling about the delay, but nobody's alarmed.
Well, find out all you can, Tonga. I'll arrange to meet you when you land on Neptune. Jonah, something went wrong.
What do you mean?
That ship that was supposed to get lost in the run to Pluto.
Well, what about it?
Just landed here on Neptune, of all the rotten breaks.
But the orbit computer did fail, didn't it?
Yes, but a Space Patrol ship happened along, and the pilot followed him to Neptune.
Did you say happened along?
Yes. Apparently, the Space Patrol ship didn't even know the passenger ship was in trouble. At least the Space Patrol didn't attempt to make contact.
Well, maybe it's better this way. Now we've got 35 or 40 unhappy passengers. We'll tell their friends what an inefficient line Spaceways is. Next time they'll all take transorbit.
One thing I admire about you, Jonah, you always look on the bright side of things.
How about the Comet?
It's working out the way you said it would. The crew headed for town for a good time, and the ship is due for an overhaul after it gets back from Neptune's moon.
But it won't get back, Cardo. It's going to be blown up on the way.
Blown up?
Yes. You can sneak aboard tonight and plant an explosive in one of the aft compartments. I suggest the emergency rations compartment.
Suppose they check the ship before blastoff.
It isn't likely they'd check the emergency rations before a short trip to that moon, especially when there's a major overhaul coming up in a couple of days. I've got it all worked out. The explosive will be in a regular emergency ration.
I've looked all over the spaceport, Commander, and I can't find Tonga.
I wonder what's delaying her. She's had plenty of time to check in at the space hotel and get back here.
Shall I look again, sir? And maybe she's over in Wing B.
Oh, here she comes, Happy. There, she sees us. Let's move over here behind these pillars. Remember, Hap, don't call her by name.
Commander,
What did you find out?
the orbit computer in the ship had been tampered with. So had the space phone transmitter.
So somebody wanted that ship to get lost.
Yes. And I picked up a very interesting rumor about who might be behind it.
Who?
I've been talking to some of the Spaceways employees. They think Transorbit is trying to run them out of business.
Well, that's a serious charge. Do they have any evidence?
No, but I heard a certain name mentioned. Brox Cardo.
Brox Cardo, huh?
Yes. Cardo works for Jonah Fenton of Transorbit.
And what's Cardo supposed to do?
I couldn't learn anything specific, but I get the impression that Carter would do just about anything.
Transorbit's main offices are here in Neptune City. Happy, maybe you and I can check up on this Cardo.
Yes, sir.
Now, Tonga, the best thing for you to do is go ahead with our original plan.
You mean go on to Pluto?
Yes. When is the next passenger ship leaving for Pluto?
Spaceways hasn't any scheduled until day after tomorrow. But there is a Transorbit ship leaving tomorrow morning.
And take that one. Oh, and by the way, this might be a good time to start gathering material for those magazine articles you're supposed to be writing.
Oh?
See if you can get an interview with Jelna Fenton at Transorbit.
All right, Commander.
In the meantime, Happy and I'll check up on Brock's Cardo. We'll slow down a little, Happy. We don't want Cardo to suspect we're trailing him.
Yes, sir. He's heading for that spaceship.
Well, that's the Comet. Just got in from Pluto this afternoon.
See, it's a beautiful ship, isn't it, sir?
Yes, it's the pride of Spaceways. Hold it, Happy.
Cardo's getting in the ship.
Yes. I'm very curious to know why a Transorbit employee is snooping around a Spaceways ship.
What do you suppose he's got in that box he's carrying?
Suppose we find out. Come on, Happy.
He's been in there a long time.
Up the ladder, Happy. Let's find out just what he's up to in there.
Which way, sir?
Look up forward. He may be tampering with the controls. Wrong guess, gentlemen.
Commander, look out!
Stay where you are, Cadet.
Oh, yeah?
Otto, put down that gun. I'll try to get to your feet, Commander. Forget what the Cadet got. What are you doing in this ship?
Preparing the Comet for its last voyage.
What do you mean?
There's an explosive hidden in the aft compartment, timed to go off 2 hours after blastoff tomorrow.
But there'll be passengers aboard.
Yes, I know. It looks like there'll be 2 extra passengers, Commander. The Cadet and you.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. Gang, this is Space Patroller Dick Tufeld speaking from the Interplanetary School Stadium on Terra. Just saw a swell football game here. Listen to this crowd cheering a winner. Yes, it sure is fun when you're a winner and hear something like that. Right, gang? But remember, to be a winner, you have to be supercharged. And here's the way to take care of that. Eat a good breakfast with Rice Chex or Wheat Chex, the bite-sized super cereals that help to supercharge you. Delicious? Why, there's sure plenty of zing in that Rice Chex flavor. And man, oh man, Rice Chex biscuits are toasted and toasted to make them crisper and crisper. And Wheat Chex? Ah, there's a flavor you'd fly to the moon for. Now remember, it's fun to be a winner, and hear this. So move right up and be a winner. Move right up to the table for a breakfast that supercharges you. A good breakfast with Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. Get them today, gang, and get supercharged. At the Neptune City spaceport, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy entered a spaceship to apprehend the suspected saboteur. The saboteur, Brock's Cardo, attacking Buzz and Happy by surprise, put them to sleep with a ray gun. Now, heavily bound and gagged, they're locked in a compartment in the spaceship in which Cardo was planted an explosive, timed to go off 2 hours after the ship blasts off for Neptune's moon. Meanwhile, following Buzz's instructions, Tonga has called on Jelna Fenton, head of the Transorbit Space Lines, in her office on Neptune City. To obtain information, Tonga is posing as a writer for the Interplanet's weekly magazine.
You've given me some very interesting facts, Miss Fenton. I won't take up any more.
Jelna, Oh, excuse me.
Oh, it's quite all right. I was just leaving. This young lady's writing an article about us for the Interplanet's Weekly.
Well, that's fine.
Thank you again, Miss Fenton. Goodbye. Goodbye. And I think you're very wise to take a Transorbit ship to Pluto. Thank you. That girl's not much of a space traveler. She was on the ship that got lost. Frightened her to death.
That's so?
Now I am glad that ship got here safely. She'll write up her horrible experience on a Spaceways ship and give Transorbit a nice plug.
Yeah, swell. Now, what I wanted to
And I managed to work in that line of yours. You know, calling me the Queen of Space. Oh, of course, I did it very modestly.
Oh, sure, Jelna. But listen, I planted the explosive in the Comet, all right?
Oh, good. Did anyone see you?
Yes. Commander Corey of the Space Patrol.
What?
Now, don't worry. I took care of him and his cadet both. They're locked up in the ship. When the ship blows up tomorrow, they'll
Wait. Thought so. She was listening.
Who?
That girl, the reporter.
Oh, do you think she heard us?
We've got to find out. Come on, Cardo. We'll follow her and see where she goes.
If I could only get my hands free. We've got to get loose, Happy. There's a bomb aboard this ship. Cardo set it to go off, and the ship's about halfway to Neptune's moon. There. I'll untie your hands.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know how we're going to get out of this compartment, but we've got to.
Well, when somebody comes aboard, maybe they can hear us pounding on the door.
Possibly. This ship is heavily soundproof. Can't even hear the roar of the rockets when... I wonder.
You mean maybe we've already blasted off?
It could be. Listen. No.
I don't hear anything.
There's no telling how long that ray gun put us to sleep. If we're in flight now, that bomb may go off any second.
Well, let's try banging on the door.
All right, Hap.
Hey, open up. Open up. Anybody out there? Open up.
Oh, wait a minute.
Do you hear anything?
Listen.
Hey, somebody's heard us. Tonga.
Commander. Happy, are you all right?
Yes, Tonga, but how did you know we were here?
I overheard Cardo tell John.
Oh, so we haven't blasted off?
Obviously not. Now, we got to find that bomb and get it out of the ship.
Yes, sir.
Commander, I think Cardo and Jelna are after me.
They may think so, Tonga, but as a matter of fact, we're after them. As soon as we fix that bomb, we'll be on our way. Let's get at it, Happy.
I can carry the bomb, sir.
It's not heavy, huh?
Are you sure that's the right box?
Yes, Tonga. It was the only one that was hidden in the emergency ration storage compartment.
Well, you can tell by the weight. This box is twice as heavy as the others.
Happy, you and I'll take this bomb to the Space Patrol emergency officer here at the spaceport for detonating, and we'll all meet later at Gate 7.
Yes, sir.
Tonga, while we're doing that, you call Neptune Unit Space Patrol headquarters and alert them to pick up Cardo and Jelna Fenton.
Look, there they are. We're too late, Jelna. That girl set them loose.
Why didn't you give the commander and that cadet another blast with a ray gun? It would have kept them unconscious till after the comet blasted off.
Oh, what difference does it make now? The girl found them.
Makes a lot of difference. Commander won't lose any time in getting out an alarm for us.
What do we do?
Well, let's get to our ship and blast off. We've got to get off Neptune.
Yeah, we got to get off Neptune before Corey has a chance to alert the Space Patrol.
Oh, wait. Girl's leaving and coming this way.
Get out of sight before she sees us.
I'd like to really fix her.
Never mind the girl.
Wait a minute. It might be a good idea to take her with us.
What for?
Don't be an idiot. You've got that ray gun, haven't you?
Yeah.
Then get her.
With all these people around?
Come on. If we handle it right, nobody will notice. Just have that gun ready. Now, Cardo.
In a hurry, miss?
Oh, why, Miss Fenton. What a nice surprise. You're not half as surprised as you're going to be.
This is a ray gun on your back. Now come along quietly. Get moving out toward the ships.
Tonga's not at Gate 7, Commander.
I know, and she won't be.
What?
She never did call headquarters. I just checked. Tonga's not in the habit of disobeying orders.
But what happened?
Jelna Fenton's own private space cruiser just blasted off. I got the report from Space Control.
Well, sir, do you think she has Tonga with her?
That's what I'm afraid of, Happy. Get to our ship. We're going after them.
I've got the ship on vector for Saturn, Jelna.
Put it in full acceleration. We've got to get plenty of distance between us and Neptune.
Yeah. How's the girl?
Still locked up in the compartment. Oh, I found out who she is.
Yeah, who?
Tonga, Assistant Security Chief of the Space Patrol.
Oh, that's not good.
Why?
This could mean plenty of trouble.
Oh, and I suppose you don't think we're in trouble now? Tonga can help keep Corey off our necks.
Yeah, but will she?
To save her own, sure. Besides, we don't care whether she cooperates or not.
Jelna, look, the rear view scope.
Ship.
It's coming right toward us and gaining every second. Jelna, they're after us.
Now, don't get excited. Calm down.
That's a Space Patrol ship. It's Corey.
So much the better. Relax, Cardo.
It's a private cruiser, sir.
Yes, with a Transorbit trademark on it. It's Jelna Fenton's ship, all right.
And we're sure gaining on it.
They must know they're being followed. They don't seem to be doing anything about it. Turn on the spaceophone, Happy.
Yes, sir.
This is Commander Corey aboard Terra 5 calling Jelna Fenton in private cruiser N56. Corey to Jelna Fenton.
Cruiser N56 to Terra 5. Go ahead.
Return to Neptune immediately. You're under arrest.
Really, Commander?
Is Brox Cardo aboard?
Brox Cardo? I never heard of him.
This is an order, Miss Fenton. Return to Neptune immediately, or we'll have to use force.
It's very interesting, Commander, but I don't think you will. You wouldn't want to risk harming your Assistant Security Chief, would you?
So you have Tonga aboard.
That's right, Commander. I suppose you think I'm bluffing?
No, Jalna. I believe you. And I'm warning you, if you harm Tonga in any way...
If you don't want her harm, then I suggest you just go about your own business and leave us alone. Goodbye, Commander.
Jalna, listen.
Tonga calling Commander Corey.
Hey, Tonga's still got her miniature spaceophone, and she's on her private frequency.
Go ahead, Tonga.
Commander, I'm aboard Jalna Fenton's private cruise.
I know. Happy and I are right behind you. I just talked to Jalna, and she refused to return to Neptune.
I've tried to get out of the compartment, but I can't. It's locked.
Well, listen, Tonga. Right now, Jalna has the upper hand. If we join airlocks with her ship, she'll carry out her threat to harm you.
Well, she'll have to land sometime.
Yes, that still doesn't help your case. Where is your compartment?
Amidships, on the starboard side.
I'm going to try something, Tonga. Maybe a little risky, but in the long run, you'll stand a better chance of getting away.
Anything you say, Commander.
Whatever you do, don't let Jalna know I've talked to you by miniature spaceophone.
Yes, sir.
Obey their orders exactly. Corey out. Happy, while I put on my spacesuit, get me an atomic torch.
Atomic torch, yes, sir.
Hurry. I'll pull up close to Jalna's ship. Up to. The ship's right off our starboard.
I guess he doesn't believe we've got Tonga aboard. But if he starts anything, he'll find out soon enough.
Corey to Jalna. Corey to Jalna.
Going to talk to him?
Yes. What is it, Commander?
I want to be sure Tonga's aboard.
Don't you trust me?
I want to see that she's all right.
Well, that's fair enough. Carter, go bring Tonga up here so the commander can see her.
Keep pulling in closer to Jalna's ship, Happy.
We're nearly touching now, sir.
I'm going to keep back so they can't see that I've got a spacesuit on. You know what to do.
Yes, sir. As soon as you tell Jalna that you see Tonga, I let our ship drop back a little, and you go out the airlock and jetpack over to Jalna's ship.
That's right. Turn on the spacephone, Happy. Well, Jalna, have you got Tonga? Let's see her.
Yes, Commander. She's right here at the nose port. Don't you see her?
Yes. Are you all right, Tonga?
Yes, Commander. Now, are you satisfied, Commander?
Just see that you don't harm her.
Then get your ship away from here.
Cut it, Happy.
Okay, sir.
All right. Drop back now. I'm going out the airlock.
Be careful, sir.
Corey's pulled his ship away.
Good. He finally got some sense.
I was afraid for a while he was going to connect airlocks.
Would have been just too bad for Tonga if he had.
I'll take her back and lock her up again.
All right.
Never mind. I'll take care of her.
Corey!
Commander!
Don't reach for that gun, Cardo.
Cardo! There you are, Miss Fenton. Let go of me, Tonga. Let go. And stop struggling.
Drop it, Cardo. All right, you asked for it. Now just stay down there. How did you get aboard, Corey? Doesn't the spacesuit give you a hint? I came in through the airlock. I triggered the latch with an atomic cutting torch. Tonga, you can let go of Miss Fenton now. I've got her covered.
Yes, Commander.
We'll lock them up after I contact Happy. Commander Corey calling Cadet Happy.
You made it, sir.
Right, Happy. Tonga and I have got Cardo and Miss Fenton. She seems pretty unhappy. I suppose she's disappointed because there won't be an article about her in the Inner Planet Weekly.
Well, tell her to cheer up, sir. There'll be a nice long one about her in the next Space Patrol crime report.
We'll be back with an action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story in just a moment. Say, do you hear that clock? Time's running away fast, gang, but it's something you just can't hold back. So don't wait. Send for a Space Patrol Spaceophone set now. This offer soon ends. The Spaceophone, the magic phone that sounds like a walkie-talkie. But time's a-wasting, so hurry. Now think of it. A spaceophone that looks exactly like the one Buzz Corey uses. But remember, this offer will soon end. Time is really running out. So, gang, hurry. Hurry while there's still time. Send today for your spaceophone set. You can talk on it to someone a straight 50 feet away. But don't wait. Act now. This offer soon ends. You get 2 blue and yellow plastic spaceophones, 50 feet of communication cord, and a briefing sheet. Here's all you do. Just buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send an Instant Ralston box top and 25 cents in coin to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in continental U.S. and may be withdrawn at any time. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now for a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story. Buzz and Happy are climbing the face of a steep cliff on the planet Saturn in pursuit of a criminal. At one side of them, a great waterfall thunders down 1,000 feet to the valley below.
Colgar must have reached the top, Commander. I don't see him. It's amazing. He went up this cliff like a mountain goat. It's sure hard to get a foothold. Look out, Happy. There's a rock falling. Smoke and rockets. Wow, that was close. There are more coming. Press close to the side of the cliff. Hey, it looks like the whole top of the mountain is coming down on us. That's Colgar's work. He started a landslide. And it's coming down right on top of us. What are we going to do?
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Giant Bubble, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol!
This is your commander, gang, with a story about the warriors in your bloodstream. Do you know what they are? They're the white blood cells, and they're warriors against disease. When a person is sick, he often needs a whole extra army of these warriors. That's just one reason why it's vital to have a big supply of blood in hospitals. Will you help me remind grown-ups that America needs more blood donations? Then join the Space Patrol Blood Boosters. Don't wait. Join today.
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Nina Berra, Virginia Hewitt, and Norman Jolly. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again present the new exciting Space Patrol. And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.